We're going over the best picks in fantasy football 2025. I'm going to give you 3 players from every single round, rounds 1 through 8, who are my favorite picks in fantasy football. And you bet your bottom dollar this man, RJ Harvey, who's in the news right now because, oh my goodness, he's listed as fifth string, Smitty. Are we running away from this situation? Does this scare you? Are you a petrified Peter? RJ Harvey wins leagues. We'll talk about it. We'll hit some news, Matthew Stafford news. We've got little tidbits to talk about, but then we get into the meat and potatoes, which is the best pick in every single round 2025. Do it live. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
But Smitty, I heard it from another channel. Smitty, RJ Harvey's 5th on the depth chart. Oh my gosh. You know who else was 5th on the depth chart? Kamara. Alvin Kamara, his rookie year, drafted into a very cloudy environment, much more cloudy than the Denver Bronco environment. This second-round draft capital monster, RJ Harvey, one of the most powerful running backs already in the league. Just watching, using the eye test, you would know that. RJ Harvey, his coach loves him. Every chance he gets, he talks him up and says he's playing on third downs. This man's going to learn pass pro. Stop with the nonsense. But people still run their mouth. Why? Agendas. Does anybody that's saying RJ Harvey really is buried on the depth chart, they have an agenda. They're anti-Harvey and have been from the start. This is like you're at a rock concert. You're on stage. You've got 100,000 people that love you. They're screaming your name. These are the RJ Harvey believers. 100,000. They're sitting there at the concert. RJ Harvey's on the stage. There's 5-10 people in the front row. They've got there early. They scooted all the way to the front. They're at the front railing. They're spread out. And there's, let's call them 7 people. And they go, "You suck, RJ Harvey, you're not a starter." They're so loud, though, because they're right at the front of the stage. But the 100,000 people are going, "Harvey, Harvey, Harvey." And the problem is Harvey's sitting there looking, and he hears the negativity, he hears the boos. He turns to his friends, and he says, "I don't think they like us." But literally, it's 7 people. It's 7 out of probably 500 people that hate RJ Harvey, and they don't really hate him, but they hate themselves. They hate themselves. They inward look. They've talked so much shiat about this kid that they have to try and find something negative. And 5th string running back, oh boo-hoo, I'm so scared. I'm such a petrified Peter. Again, Kamara, he was 3rd, 4th, and 5th on 3 different depth charts. And we'll even ask Pablo. Pablo can tell us right now. Bo Nix as well. Bo Nix as well was also, I believe he was number 3 on the depth chart, walking into August 6th, this very day of 2024. And yet, what happened there? How did that work out? Let's ask Pablo a question. Pablo, tell the good people the depth, what the depth chart looked like for both Bo Nix and Alvin Kamara, their rookie seasons. Go ahead and tell them.
Let's dive into the depth charts for Bo Nix and Alvin Kamara during their rookie seasons in the NFL, giving you a clear picture of where they stood on their respective teams. I'll break it down team by team, position by position.
No, come on, bro. Pablo, what in the hell you doing? Just tell us real quickly, what number was Nix on the depth chart walking into last season, August 6th? Good Lord.
All right, my bad for the detour. Let's cut to the chase. On August 6th, 2024, Bo Nix was listed as the number 3 cornerback.
Thank you. That's all I need. I don't need the backstory. Stop wasting time. Give me the number that Alvin Kamara was ranked on the depth chart his rookie year. Just the number. Don't tell me, all right, let's dig into it. Just give me the number, Pablo. The number, damn it.
3.
Attaboy, Pablo. Pablo doing it live. Pablo doing it live. 3. So Nix was 3 on August 6th. Kamara was 3 on the unofficial depth chart. And then 3 other sources had him at 4. Another source had him at 5. One source actually had Alvin Kamara at the 5 spot. For anybody that falls victim to this, I don't know what to tell you. I don't really want to help you because we need you. We need you more than you need us. We need Harvey doubters to get louder. I need one of you on each corner going, Harvey's not a good running back. He's just going to play second fiddle to J.K. Dobbins, who was one of the worst running backs in the league last year. J.K. Dobbins average, J.K. equaled 3.8 yards per carry after his second game. So from weeks 3 on, he averaged 3.8 yards per carry. He was the worst running back in the National Football League. He's also the very most injury-prone running back in the National Football League from any sort of like starter or co-sharing role perspective. There's no one worse than J.K. Dobbins to count on to play half a season. He's the most injury-prone running back left in the league. Cam Akers was 1. J.K. was 2. J.K., congratulations, you've graduated. RJ Harvey is going to collect probably 65 plus receptions in 2025 as a rookie. As a rookie. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not stuttering. I'm not hesitating. There's no equivocation in my stance or in my voice. Harvey is going to catch 65 plus receptions as a rookie, maybe 70 to 75. And if you don't think that that's true, I don't care. I don't care. I'm here for the people that absorb. This guy's going to ball out. He is one of the best pass catching running backs in the National Football League. Immediately. Not just because he's good at it, but because he goes into a system that produces it. Alvin Kamara, his rookie year. Kamara. Remember good old Kamara? Remember when I just told you Kamara was number 3 on the depth chart? That season, he caught 81 balls his rookie year. The next season, 81 footballs. The next season, 81 footballs. Times 3 years in a row. Alvin Kamara, 81, 81, 81. Number 3 on the depth chart. I mean, there's not much more to really go over. Like, if you don't get it at that point, you're just a hater. You want Harvey to fail. There's not a single Harvey owner that heard what I just said right there, listened to what I just said, absorbed what I just said, and is walking away from this live stream going, damn, man, I just don't think Harvey's going to do it. If you say that, you don't own a single share of him. And you don't deserve to own a single share of RJ Harvey, to be honest with you. I don't want you to own RJ Harvey. If you don't like Harvey after this whole presentation, which is facts, nothing but cold, hard facts, you don't deserve to own him. You don't deserve to own him. I don't want you to own him. I want you to continue to hate on him. Harvey is a top 10 RB. Top 10 RB in 2025. I don't know why I'm spelling out 10. Top 10 RB in 2025. Oh, but Smitty, he can't do that. Maybe he gets in the lineup by maybe mid-season. When he's sharing the role, he's still producing borderline top 10 numbers. I don't care. I don't care if J.K. Dobbins starts week 1 in name and runs 8 times up the gut, and Harvey gets all the receiving work. Harvey plays on third downs even 50% of the time in week 1. I don't care. He's going to get so much volume. He is so explosive. He'll be so efficient on even light work. Once he gets into the lineup weeks 4, 5, 6 on a more full-time capacity, which will never be full-time because the man runs multiple running backs that's named Sean Payton. If he runs the ball 500 times, you're only giving Harvey 220. That means that if you ran 440 and you gave Harvey 220, that's only half of the rushing attempts because he's catching 60 footballs. He's a little busy to do more than 200 to 200 totes. What's so hard for people to figure out? That he's only going to run the ball 200 to 220 times, maybe 245, 250 at the most, and they're going to run 450 plus times in Denver. How difficult is that? How difficult is that to conceptualize? I don't know. I have no clue what the people are struggling on that are struggling on this. I really have no idea. We got news here to go over other than the RJ Harvey situation. Matthew Stafford, as we talked about yesterday, last night specifically, no concerns whatsoever about Stafford because Schefter reported that this was a maintenance issue only. Just keeping him rested longer than normal, which is going to get him out of shape. But they want to rest his back. They'd rather bring him up to speed quickly in terms of physical strength and all that and keep his back totally calm because it's all about pain and tolerating the pain, not about that he needs immediate surgery or that there's something wrong that will prevent him from going out there. It's all about pain. Today, we're hearing this right here that he's dealing with a aggravated disc. But there's nothing different really at the end of the day. So he's been getting an epidural shot. This is common. And sometimes these players will get a shot in the game, to a knee. They'll get some sort of pain, reducing type of agent. And then they go back out there. They don't feel pain for the rest of the game. It's notorious that the league is full of all that. I mean, you watch any of the... What was that one? What was one of the most best football movies ever? What is it called? The Program. But Stafford, make no mistake about it, he's playing catch up. But I have no concerns about him playing week 1. Aggravated disc, his whole entire back, the lower part of it is going to be sore as he ramps up. But there is no immediate risk. Like it's not like, oh hey, he's got this torn hamstring. We're worried if he goes out there in week 1, he might tweak it and immediately be out 4 to 6 weeks. This is more of a long-term. His back is getting worse. It's arthritis. It's a mix of a bunch of different things. And yeah, he's slowly over time going to have less arm strength. And he's going to slowly over time have more back pain, which will hamper him as he gets into week 12, week 13, week 14. But the beautiful news is that Davante Adams is in town. The beautiful news is that Davante Adams is one of the very best route runners in the entire National Football League. The beautiful news is that Puka Nacua is also in the top 5 potentially in route running and just getting wide open and laying out for footballs and catching things that other players can't catch. And these guys are short yardage and long distance specialists. That means that Adams can play at all 3 levels. Puka can play at all 3 levels, and their short game is going to make it nearly impossible to try and say, oh, if Stafford can't throw deep, let's press this man and let's take advantage and exploit Stafford's inability to throw downfield early on in the season as he gets his strength back, because there's a good chance in week 1 he's not throwing multiple 40-plus yard passes down constantly as he's getting his strength back. It won't matter. You got Adams and Puka Nacua. They can knife up a defense with manufacturers' short yardage passing situations constantly all day long. And guess who's the benefactor? Kyren Williams running up the gut. The A gap is this much more open. The B gap is this much more open. The lanes and the planes that this man's sitting in will be completely vacant. He'll just be sitting there going, throw to me, throw to me. Kyren getting 45-plus receptions this year seems like a lock. This Rams offense will be magnificent. If Stafford were to go down and let's say he aggravated his back, which again is not necessarily the same kind of thing you're thinking, like the sciatica, oh, you just pulled his back, he can't move. This is like in the bones. This is in the hip where the spine connects to the pelvis and it's sore and it's arthritic, and he's going to continue to get a little more painful and a little less powerful, and that's what it's really about. So he ramped up, or he's going to ramp up now. He rested up the entire offseason, and that's why it's a maintenance issue. So I'm still very, 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 very positive that we're seeing Stafford play just fine in week 1. And even if he's limited, we won't know because of the manufactured design plays. Again, nobody worry about this nonsense right here. It's so funny how many people, you really know who knows ball when people start talking about this stuff without, even with the historical information that you hand them, and they still talk about RJ Harvey. RJ Harvey's going to win leagues. He's going to dominate. and win leagues in 2025. I can't wait. It's going to be such an amazing situation. Let's see real quickly if there's any other news and notes around the league. Let's give Pablo one more try. Pablo, we're going to give you another chance. Please don't drag this out as quickly as you can. What are the news and notes around the NFL today? Jeez. Let's go to Kruger. Pablo's lost his job. Kruger, we started talking to Pablo, and he lost his job. You're now taking over the news segment. Don't dilly-dally. What are the news and notes around the NFL right now?
Here's the latest around the NFL. ESPN is set to acquire the NFL Network and related media assets, which includes Red Zone, in exchange for a 10% equity stake in ESPN. Pretty big move to boost NFL coverage and streaming. Also, J.C. Horn, the Panthers cornerback, got into a car accident and injured his thumb. He's day-to-day and missed practice today. And the Chiefs are working on their Red Zone drills with Mahomes looking sharp as always. Plus, the Bills are bringing back their standing Buffalo throwback uniforms for the upcoming season.
Hey, isn't there going to be a red zone for college football? What's the status on that? I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that.
The idea of a college football red zone is definitely on the table. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell mentioned that ESPN, now that they're acquiring the Red Zone brand, might expand that concept to college football. So we might get to see all the best moments across college games in one place.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, pal. Appreciate you. Thank you all for being here. First of all, hit that thumb up button on the way in the door. Zion, thank you for the amazing content. Zion says, Harvey not going to do Shiat, book it. Well, Zion, we know you're new to fantasy football. We're here for you. If you have any questions, guys, be easy on him. He's obviously trying to get into the thing. You know, he doesn't know. Everybody started playing fantasy football at one time or another. You know what I'm saying? You can't be too hard on people when they don't know what's going on. I'm listening. He said Harvey was fifth starter and going to put up those kind of numbers. Here's another one. You notice how they're never people you recognize? They're always just someone's burner. I'm listening. He said Harvey was fifth starter and going to put up them kind of numbers. Really? You guys should play in the same league. Zion's my best friend. It figures. It's probably your burner account, to be honest, because that sounds exactly like you. There's about 4 of you that sound exactly the same. This is me on my iPad. This is me on my cell phone. This is me on my mama's phone, who's warming up my hot pocket right now. And this is me on my Game Boy, which I rigged up to also have internet access and allow me to log in. RJ Harvey's not going to do anything. Book it. Yeah, we're all really interested in what you have to say. We're just going to remember it, hang on to it. Such great content. Burner accounts. I'm on my 5th burner account of the season because Smitty keeps blocking my real account. So I go to my 2nd burner account. I go to my 3rd burner account. Can you imagine if Harvey falls to the 6th round? I don't know what's worse, this or the Achane stuff. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think the Harvey stuff is worse in terms of the overreactions and the I don't know football reactions from people that really just don't know fantasy football very well? Do you think that Achane was worse? JD5 reactions were worse? Harvey or Kyren? Vote in the chat which player overreactions were the worst. If it's Harvey, Kyren, Achane, JD5. Or Caleb. Actually, that one will win. Don't vote on Caleb. Caleb will easily win because the delusion was insane. But vote on the Kyren, Achane, JD5, and Harvey because they're all in the same bucket. The Kyren was pretty bad. The JD5 was very bad. People have a very short memory of how much they came at us, and the track record is pretty good. I think we're doing pretty good. I think we're nailing it. Nail it. You're done.
You're done. You're done.
All right, let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you all. Here we are doing it live. Here we are doing it live. And the best picks in every single round, I'm going to break it all down right now. Starting off with Bijan. Now, this is an easy call. What I'm trying to do in almost every single one of these rounds, I'm going to try and give you a top of round one, middle of round one, bottom of round one, top of round two, middle, so that you kind of can go in any direction. Now, I can't force who my favorite picks are, so in some cases, all three linger in the top like 8 overall of that round. So I couldn't be perfect with it, but I tried my best to give you variation. If you've got a top 3 or 4 pick, it's Bijan. There's just no question about it. There's not a single part of his situation I don't think is either improved or magnificently the same walking into 2025 as it was in 2024. The volume's there. The frame of the man is as good of a football frame as you can get. The way he moves, nobody cuts better than him. Saquon Barkley doesn't cut better than him. Nobody. Christian McCaffrey. No one holds a candle to this man's footwork. In fact, Saquon Barkley himself said that no one has better footwork than Bijan Robinson. So Bijan Robinson is the number 1 overall player in fantasy. He falls to pick 3 and 4 sometimes. If people go Jamar Chase and JJ, or Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, or Jamar Chase and Barkley, some people go Christian McCaffrey now. He's climbing up to 4-5. Bijan Robinson is the number 1 overall player in fantasy, period. Period. I love Gibbs. I love Lamb. I love Jamar Chase. There's room for all those guys. And, you know, you could make an argument that Gibbs could be the number 1 running back if all goes well and they're throwing from behind and they just give this man 80 receptions. But Bijan Robinson is probably going to have something along the lines of 1,400 plus yards rushing, 450 to 500 receiving yards. They're going to throw to him more than ever. Penix Jr. is now at the helm, and this is going to be a 65-plus reception season for Bijan Robinson. Like I said, 450, 550 yards, 3 to 4 receiving touchdowns, 12 to 15 rushing touchdowns. This is probably going to be an 18-plus total touchdown season. And if I had to guess, I would say 1,900 to 2,000 total yards with, again, this 60 PPR reception points. Nay says, Zion, why aren't you're just going to disagree with everything I say? I'll put you in a 30-minute timeout. We don't need you here. Like, if everything that I'm going to say, you're going to say no. You're going to say no to Bijan. You're going to say no to everything. No one needs you here. No one needs you here. No one needs to see you in the chat just going, every single thing I say. Hey, the sky's blue. No, it's not. It's slightly green today. Hey, the sun came up today. No, actually, it didn't. It was sliding to the left and didn't actually go up. It went sideways. Like, you just, everything I say, you're going to say something negative. So just go somewhere else. No one needs you here, Zion. No one needs you here. No one wants you here if you're going to be a negative poll on the community. So think about it and then let me know in 30 minutes whether you want to come back or not. It's up to you. Let's move on. So the next, I love that there's a couple people that said, Smitty, you're delusional on this Harvey stuff. I just feel so bad for anybody that has that stance. Like, if you think that Harvey maybe doesn't get going till later, and you do believe that JK is going to impede a little bit more, like, I can understand your stance a little more, but the fact that some of you think that he's not doing nothing, I don't believe. First of all, I don't believe that. I don't believe you believe that. I believe you're just trolling, or you put so much bad stuff out there on Harvey, you're just clinging to any sort of thing like it's a magnet. Like, oh, Harvey had stubbed his toe this morning. Hey, Harvey, I need something good, which is bad, but something good for me, because I put so much bad stuff out there about HHH.
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates. Locations on Earth.
Okay. Number 2. Bijan is going to go absolutely bananas. If you don't have a draft pick to get Bijan Robinson, There's only one other player in the first round that I love more. Well, actually, let's go. Before we go down to this player, if we're going wide receiver shopping, we do need to have a discussion about Lamb Chops, who would be the number 2 player to get selected of the 3 that I'm going to name. And Lamb Chops is fantastic. I mean, just top 1 to 2 wide receiver material every single season. He's the guy you want if you're going to try and go wide receiver, running back. And he's the guy that most likely out of the top 4, my top 4 are Jamar Chase, Bijan, Gibbs, Chase, Lamb, and then Jeanty. Jeanty would be my number 5 overall in redraft, my number 5 overall or 4 in dynasty. But Jeanty's top 5 across the board no matter what. But if you're in the middle of the round and you get Lamb at 4, 5, 6, that affords you some Bucky, Hampton, Rushy Rice. You can do some amazing builds from a Lamb Chop round 1. And you can get lambed.
Get lambed.
So this would be the one receiver that the value's there. No one's saying I don't like Jamar Chase. I love JJ, but the hamstring, you got Neighbors and the toe. Neighbors will be lights out for the first month or 2 of football. I wouldn't be surprised if Neighbors, as on the board preseason, Neighbors wide receiver 1, wouldn't be surprised. I'm not deleting that. That tells you how much I love Neighbors, but wouldn't be surprised if that's wide receiver 1 per start for 8 straight weeks. Wide receiver 1 for 8 straight weeks is certainly possible for Neighbors. But that toe is a big late mid-season to late season concern. There's really question marks about every receiver except for Lamb. Lamb's got Dak. Dak's looking really good in camp. The rapport is as amazing as any rapport in the league. Pickens is going to keep defenses honest. No more double teams for Lamb Chops. Pickens is catching everything. And I think that the offense is potent enough. There's no, are we worried about Lamb's volume? Absolutely not. And the fact that Milton's sitting there behind Dak and will eventually probably take his job. If not this year, if Dak stayed healthy all year, I believe he balls out. I think Dak is going to have a phenomenal year. He's great in fantasy, but you got to cuff him to Milton. If Dak can't stay healthy, which is a big problem for Dak, Milton goes in and he never lets go of the job. That's not a knock on Dak. I just told you I like Dak, but I love Milton. And Milton is exciting. He's a winner. Hit that thumb up button. Only 91 thumbs up. We got 400 people in the building. Lamb Chops is a phenom. Amazing pick. Second best pick maybe in the draft, at least at this point. My number 3 player, and this guy you can get at the later end, the middle to later end, but I take him anywhere after number 5 and beyond, and that's Ashton Jeanty. You miss out on Bijan, you're at the bottom of round 1, you take Jeanty. You're in the middle of round 1 and you want running back, you take Jeanty. You're at the top 4 picks, you take Bijan. It's Bijan, Lamb, Jeanty, best 3 picks in round 1, period. Here.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Doesn't mean I don't love Gibbs. I love Gibbs, but these are the 3 best picks and they're spread out perfectly to give you coverage that no matter what your first round pick looks like, you're getting one of these guys. And if you're drafting at 12, you can get Jeanty. You're drafting at 11, you can get Jeanty. You're drafting at 5, take Jeanty. Jeanty's the best pick in fantasy football after Bijan and Lamb at cost of entry, even if you're taking him at 6, 7, 8. It's unbelievable. It's win a league capable. This is it. This is the guy. This is a guy that could rush for 1,500 yards as a rookie. This is a guy that could win the rushing title as a rookie. Rookie of the year candidate. 14, 15 rushing touchdowns. 15 to 18 total touchdowns. 55 to 60 total receptions. 400 yards receiving maybe. 1,400 rushing, 1,800 total yards, maybe 19. We'll call it 18 just to dumb it down a little bit. 1,800 total yards, 55 to 60 receptions, and 15 to 18 total touchdowns. That's a monster right there. And on top of that, I mean, to be frank with you, to be completely frank.
Hey, I'm I'm Dom, and I drive fast cars, get hot chicks, and draft Ashton Jeanty double fist style with 2 cell phones at the same time. Why do I have 2 cell phones? One for looking up Ashton Jeanty stats all day, the other is for getting chicks.
Next up on the board would be the man. This is my favorite pick in round 2 at the top of the board, Devon Achane. Devon Achane. You might know him as the spinach villain, the spinach connoisseur, the spinach gobbler, if you will.
Achane. Achane is the man. His haters call him small,
But he is 9 feet tall.
Achane is the man.
Achane is just a phenom. He could be the number 1 running back in fantasy football. Not saying he's my number 1 running back, but he's top 5. My running back rankings, if I'm ranking right now in redraft, would be this. This is how I see it. I'm not saying I don't take advantage of the situation to the best of my ability and try and figure out a way to capitalize. But I would say this is my number 1, Bijan. My number 2, Gibbs. And of course, Gibbs and Bijan are somewhat interchangeable to a degree. Tier break. No, actually not tier break. Jeanty is 3. And while this is like a mini tier break, not a big tier break, but a mini tier break, number 4 is Bucky. And number 5 is Devon Achane. And so Achane being a top 5 running back, but capable of dancing with these guys any single given week. Cup of coffee with Bijan any week. Any week he could have a cup of coffee with him. Gibbs, Jeanty, Bucky could as well. These guys are all, this is why there's a hard tier break here. These guys can live at the top or in the middle or at the bottom of this tier. This is really tier 1. And this is like kind of like a tiny mini tier break. Kind of a tiny mini tier break, but they're mini. You can climb a situation, more work, more carries, unexpected receiving volume increase. Could move any one of these guys through these mini tier breaks. This is my top 5 running backs walking into the 2025 season. Achane's a monster. Achane can hang. Achane can be a 15 total touchdown player. Achane can get you an insane amount of points. He can in weeklies, he can win you a weekly winner contest on Underdog. We'll be drafting probably not tonight, but we draft every single night but Wednesday nights around midnight Eastern. So if you want to get in on that, I'll drop the link right now. Achane goes in weekly winners a little higher for a good reason, because he can outscore any player in the National Football League at any given moment. That's how good he is. He could have 55 points, 60 points. He could have the record fantasy football week at twice in one season. He's that explosive. And wouldn't surprise me if he caught 80 receptions for 600 plus receiving yards and 6 or 7 receiving touchdowns. Even if he's limited on the ground a little bit, he's such a situation-proof player too, because if the game script is, oh, we got to throw, they're throwing to Achane as much as they're throwing to any of the wide receivers. And if they're going to run, they're running Achane. And there's a good chance that Tyreek Hill gets traded. Not necessarily before the season, but he is running his mouth again. And the team has had it. He's a culture killer. He's a locker room killer. And Tua Tagovailoa went to the podium, and when asked the question about are they over what Tyreek Hill said. He said, he's still repairing the relationships, not with just me, but with the whole team. The whole team heard what he said. And they're not over it yet. And Tyreek Hill running his mouth again, says Achane should be taken out at the goal line. Achane's one of the most dynamic players in the National Football League. You could run a draw play to him at the goal line. You could run a sweep. You could throw it to him. Put him in motion. Put him in the slot. Throw a little pass to him. No one's near him. It's insane the way people think. Take him out at the goal line. You should be at the goal line, Tyreek. You did jack shit last year. Shouldn't even be in the game. Trade him. And for those of you drafting Tyreek Hill in round 2, what a recipe for disaster. What a recipe for disaster.
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
Okay, so we'll probably go next up. Best pick in this round is Drake London. Drake London could be the number 1 wide receiver in the league. I'm not saying he's my number 1. I'm not saying he will be the number 1. I'm saying he can be the number 1. He's certainly a top 5 wide receiver. And for some reason, London has about as many haters as Achane. And I can't peg this. I don't understand why there's a lot of London hate. It's like, oh, London's not that good. Why? Because you missed? Why? Because you predicted him to be bad? Guys got to understand, almost 100% of the time when someone's mad or trolling or angry at you, there's either jealousy involved or embarrassment that they didn't see something coming, so they're throwing trash on it. So anybody that comes in hot, like if you're like, I like London, but I like this guy better, that's okay. That's not a hateful take. That's not hatred. But when someone says something like London's trash or London's going to be bad this year, you're going to see it's coming from a place that's jealous he didn't draft London, just like any trolling or hating, or it's coming from a place of they're doubling down on the bad take. It's like a double down. It's a double down Donnie. So it's either a double down Donnie or some sort of regret that's involved. Guys, red zone targets top 5, target rate top 5, air yards top 5, all with the sum total of what he was handed last year. A bunch of bad playing Kirk Cousins and 3 amazing games of Michael Penix Jr. But with an isolated look at when and what they did together in those 3 games, the pace for London was unbelievable. And London paced out at 221 targets on the season. If you extrapolate those 3 games with Penix Jr., it's 221, 125 receptions and 1995 in the yardage department. Almost 2,000 yards receiving is what he would have paced out at. 11 TDs. And 11 TDs would have gone up as well. Even London dropped a ball he should have. In that first game with Michael Penix Jr. in there was a lot of drop footballs going on. Getting used to the lefty, getting used to, his throwing style, getting used to a lot of things. And there was a lot of drop footballs. Even Kyle Pitts. Now Kyle Pitts is catching everything. Kyle Pitts' revival season might be underway. This 6'4", 215-pound monster who just turned this birthday here, he just turned 24 on July 24th, is such a young kid. Top 9 in receptions last year with Kirk Cousins at the helm most of the year. 4th in yards with Kirk Cousins at the helm most of the year. Do you know Kirk Cousins in his final 5 games didn't throw a single touchdown pass? And then his final game when they took him out, I think he had the 1. It was literally a drought, over a month-long drought. I think it was 4 or 5 games. I think it was 5 games, I believe. Let me pull it up. Let me just make sure. Kirk Cousins game log, and see. I think it was 5 straight games. It might have been 4. Let me pull it up. I want to be accurate with this stat. Game logs, 2025. Kirk Cousins touchdowns. Okay, in the second game of November against the Saints, 11-10. 0, 0, 0, 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, yeah. 4 straight games. And then the 5th game, he had 1 touchdown and then he was pulled. So 1 touchdown in 5 games, 4 straight with no touchdowns. I mean, how's this guy doing this? How is he 9th in the league in TDs? 9th in the league in TDs. And he had Kirk Cousins not throwing a single touchdown in 4 straight games and only threw 1 the next game. This is a top 5 wide receiver if I've ever seen one in my life. And this is a guy that has the potential to be the number 1, number 2, number 3 wide receiver. One of the very best picks in fantasy here in round 2. So top of round 1, Bijan. Middle, Lamb. end of round 2 or round 1, Jeanty. And if you can get Jeanty at 5 or 6, that's fine too. Achane, top of round 2. London, top or middle. You know, so like as we go down, I'm fine moving London up, but I'm just saying London is the best chance you have in the 12 to 15 range of getting that league winner. Achane's not falling much past like 13, 14, 12 overall. My very, very favorite player probably in all of fantasy football this year. He just is. He just is. Part of it is we take Bucky baths here on the channel. Let's take a Bucky bath right now.
Get buckied. 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 Oh, Bucky.
Yeah.
Bucky can be had at the bottom of 2. Now, it doesn't always span to 24. It seems to be 20 and 19 is like where you're pushing the envelope. So these 3 guys don't necessarily span from 2.1 to 2.12 as easily as Jeanty falls to 12 in his round. But Bucky, if you get him at 15, at 14, at 13, at 17, you're winning a league if everything else goes to plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bucky's he's unreal. He is the real deal. He's the real McCoy. And he's the real Bucky. Number 1 in yards after contact, forced missed tackles 4. Played, I think, 45 overall % of his team snaps last year. And red zone targets, he was 10th in the league. Rushing yards, he was 10th in the league. And he played 45% of his team snaps. He was ranked number 41 in running back snap share, and he was 12th in fantasy points. Yards per route run 6, 20-plus yard runs 8, 30-plus yard runs 3rd, 7th, 6th, top 5 running back easily in 2025. This is the guy. This is our Kyren and our Achane, and the repeating doubters are there, ready to just pounce on this thing, thinking that they've got, a good angle on this. Oh, he's too small, or I don't know if Liam Cohen's leaving. He didn't get starter run until really week 13. Started to ramp up in week 10, 13 carries, 73 yards and a touchdown. Week 12, 12 carries, 88 and a touchdown. And then it started to completely explode. 25 carries for 152 and a score. Got banged up. I think it was his head. Came back in the next week. No missed time. But it did suck to watch this game in between. 15 carries, 117. 16 carries, 68 and a touch. 20 carries, 113. 19 carries, 89 and a touch. Running back 9, running back 5, running back 1, running back 3, running back 7, running back 12. Guy didn't even get starter work until week 13. Imagine what's going to happen when this guy gets a full workload. And if you think for a second that Rachaad White is even in a part of this conversation, first of all, he's not even the backup. Oh, Miss Smitty, I own Rachaad White. Of course he's the back. Did he just say Rachaad White's not the backup? I see him on the field. I'm going to see him on the field earlier than Sean Tucker. What's that mean? That means he's regulated to a role that is consistent with any player that when the starter goes down doesn't replace that player. He stays on the field in his regulated third down role. But his third down role is not full time. His third down role is a much lesser third down role than Bucky's third down role. Bucky walks into 2025 as the third down back. He's a 3 down back this year. His staff has told you this, but yet people are in the chat acting like this. One out of every 500 people, it's not a lot, My people know what time it is, but someone comes in here and says something like 1 out of 500 people, like Rachaad White's going to take their third down work from him still. You don't know what you're talking about. Rachaad White was told he's not a part of the future. And Rachaad White announced on social media this is his final year in Tampa, and the likelihood of him getting traded is extremely high. Rachaad White, ETN, Kenneth Walker are the 3 most likely to be traded running backs this year. Sean Tucker is the backup. You need a cuff, grab Sean Tucker. This guy's going to get more PPR work than Rachaad White. They talked about his footwork. They talked about the fact that he was never the starter until double-digit weeks. And Bowles has said he's walking in with cleaned up footwork, which his footwork looked great to me. Imagine him having better footwork. But he's going to have better footwork, so get scared, get prepared. But Bowles has said this is the first time, the first offseason, he walks in as the full-blown 3-down back and full-time starter. And for some reason, when people hear that, they don't hear it. They just keep saying, but Rachaad White. It's like Monty. The Rachaad White debate and Monty's the same debate. But Monty's there. But Monty's there. But Rachaad White's there. Rachaad White's there, Smitty. No, he's not. Who's Rachaad White? Who's Rachaad White? No, nobody. That's a good-looking 6. That's a good-looking 6. Okay, here we go. Off to number 3. Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams is the best value in round 3. Got his new contract. I think that the Stafford news came as a blessing in disguise because the contract, the security of you're now a starter, no one can ever say the draft capital, but the team didn't draft him high. Corm's got higher draft capital. They drafted Jarquez Hunter. All those arguments got completely lambasted when this cat got his 3-year, $33 million, $23 million guaranteed contract extension. And good on him. He deserves every dime. Good on him.
Let's go! Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy.
So excited for our boy. So excited for our boy. He deserves every single penny. But that's going to make people believe in him a little more. And so he could. Now, it depends. Some people say, I see a comment that he climbs into round 2. He does. In grandma leagues, he might be at the 2.1. You know, I have a buddy league where last year he was supposed to go end of 2, top of 3, and he went at like 2.1. So it just really depends on where you're drafting and what platform, the suggested rank. Grandma leagues, they don't tend to dock Kyren like the sharper leagues do. And so who's really sharper? When the grandma leagues are getting it right on Kyren and have got it right on Achane for 2 years now, and the sharper leagues were punting Kyren all offseason and still kind of are, and we're punting Achane last year, and now they love him again. Who's really sharp? Sometimes the grandma leagues know what's going on. But Kyren can fall to the bottom of 2 or climb to the bottom of 2, go in the middle of 2. And honestly, I'm going to make a video on this that somebody asked me a question. I forget who was on the other show, on the earlier show. They said, what do you do if Bucky's gone, London's gone, and you're sitting there in the middle of the second round? I think my answer will be Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams is, even in an environment where he goes in 3, he is the backup plan and the secret weapon second round draft selection. Because you pretty much can get Kyren from 15 down. You know, like any scenario, you can get Kyren 15 down. You could go Hampton early too. I don't mind that. But Kyren scored 12 rushing touchdowns the year prior to last year. Scored 14 rushing touchdowns last year. This guy does nothing but deliver. He had 15 total touchdowns in the 12 games, his first full-time year as a starter. 15 touchdowns in 12 games. 5.0 yards per carry. One of the most explosive running backs in the league, and somehow there's this narrative just spinning around the fantasy industry right now that says that he's not an explosive running back. That his metrics, look at his metrics. And one chatter or commenter, I forget who said it, but we've said it before on the channel, but last night was even said by a couple new people. And so they know how we think. Great minds think alike. That's why people gravitate to this channel. It's like you do know when someone knows ball when they see past data like last year and they look over it and they say, look, 5.0 yards per carry the year prior. Offensive line was healthy. The passing attack was humming with Kupp and Puka, and this guy is explosive. You can't get 14 rushing touchdowns with stacked boxes unless you're explosive. So Kyren Williams having Kupp injured and not the same all year last year, Puka injured last year, and 8-man fronts and stacked boxes because there was no passing attack at all for a majority of the season. In the injured offensive line, this is one of the best offensive lines in the league, and it was last year calculated as the heaviest offensive line, and it was ravaged with injuries. Kyren did so much with so little. To get 4.1 to 4.3 yards per carry last year with no passing attack was actually incredible. And for him to get 14 touchdowns on the ground in a situation like that proves that he's explosive. So I don't really understand where this narrative comes from, because the data tells you that Kyren Williams wasn't explosive because of the yards per carry. Like, if you watch and use your eyeballs to try and make this determination about Kyren Williams, you come to a different conclusion. You come to a conclusion that is this guy and Kyren Williams. Let me screenshot his stats from last year and put them on screen for you. Let's see. Let me grab this right here, save this to my desktop, and put this on screen for you. You will see that Kyren dominated the league in the worst scenario he could. There's not many running backs that are going to get 4.1 yards per carry and get you 14 touchdowns and still get you $12.99. Carry the ball 316 times, still be very effective in the receiving game to a degree. This guy showed how explosive he was, getting this number with the offensive line and the offense the way it was. 5.0 yards per carry the year prior is what you want to look at. That's the way he's going to play this year. Why? Because Stafford will be on the field in week 1. The maintenance issue will be fine. And Puka and Adams are going to keep defenses so occupied, there's no way to stack the box and focus on Kyren. Kyren's going to walk into the end zone another 12 to 14 times this year on the ground. He's going to pull in another 2 or 3. He's going to grab 45 to 55 receptions. He's going to have 300 plus receiving yards, and he's going to be a borderline top 5 overall running back at the end of the year. And we're going to laugh at everybody that said Kyren is not Kyren. Kyren is this lacking explosive type of player, and we're going to say, go ahead, get your spinach ready. Achane can't eat it all. Kyren's going to eat it. Kyren's going to come and bring the thunder this year. You do what you got to do.
He's Kyren, he's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kyren, he can take frowns and turn them upside down with his touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, this is the same thing. This is the same thing as Chase Brown. Like, what do we tell you about Chase Brown last year? What do we tell you about Chase Brown? Who's going sometimes in 2, and sometimes he goes in high 3. This is where I was telling you I might not be able to get everybody spread out in every round and find a best pick at the top, a best pick at the middle, best pick at the bottom. This is one of those things where Kyren's going to either go 3.1 to 3.7, or it could sometimes climb. Chase Brown could go at 2.10, 2.11, 2.12, but you are tending to get him as your third drafted player. Sometimes it requires a 3.1, 3.2. No channel was higher on Kyren. No channel was higher on Chase Brown. No channel was higher on Achane. No channel was higher on Bucky. No channel has ever been higher on Bijan. Nobody. We took the L his rookie year, because if I'm going to be the highest on him, I had to take the L on his number 9 running back finish his rookie year. It amazes me we get people that come in here and say anything negative at all about what we do here, because we've smashed so many of these players and we're higher than anybody on fantasy football earth. There's just nobody that was calling this shot last year. And Chase Brown, we said it all offseason long. All offseason long. Chase Brown. We yelled it all offseason. People call in and go, Chase Brown. We created that little beautiful saying. And I'll be honest with you, the first 3 weeks of football, it wasn't looking good. And that goes to show that there's a chance that Harvey or Hendy or one of the Triple H and Associates might not ball out in weeks 1 through 3.
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates. Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
You know, so we got to keep that in mind that if one of the Triple H and Associates, one of the 4 H's don't come out like a monster, you can't overreact. Just like people are overreacting already about Harvey. A stupid little depth chart, little game play, little mind game tactic that Sean Payton always uses to motivate, and that's the way he does things. It's nothing to do with how it's going to go. You know, if we can't see this situation for what it is, we got 3 super chats. I said I'd get these immediately. I'm so sorry. I will do that. Any super chats that come in, I'll answer them immediately. I apologize. How do you feel about Garrett Wilson with Fields' jet passing attack? I'm fine with it. I know Fields has been struggling a little bit, but keep in mind that this guy is a scrambling quarterback, and that creates a lot of accuracy for him, and puts him in the best places for him to succeed. And right now, you're not having him scramble as much. There's not a lot of real life scramble, situations for him. So he's kind of like not in his realm. And so I look at this as a player like Lamar. Lamar's always been historically known, not necessarily last year and this year, he's getting better, but always known as being not a practice player. And remember, people would make fun of that. And I think I've made fun of it before where I'm like, not a practice player. It doesn't sound good. But Lamar's consistent right now, but he had been very inconsistent. He had been up and down. He couldn't put together full seasons that were impressive. There'd be something that would be an injury or he'd play bad the first half. Now Lamar's been playing consistently, and Lamar's getting better at practice and everything. But, we've heard this before. Sometimes mobile quarterbacks that thrive on the run and throw well on the run, and the coaches that let them live that way and play that way, they're able to get them, maximize value out of the player. That's what this is. I'm not worried about it. Garrett Wilson was Fields' college quarterback, so the rapport is there, and they've had a lot of good success this offseason, by the way. Just because of the last couple days Fields has struggled doesn't take away what they've been doing. Need some Supernova advertisement, please. Thank you, DeBalt. I'll hit that in a little bit. Once we get closer to a couple more Supernovas, I'll punch that button. And then Dan right here with the $10 holler. Dynasty Superflex, Chase, Jamar Chase, Hampton, Harvey, Jacobs, Garendo, Coleman, Jennings, Caleb, Tua, Trey Harris, Luther, Burden, Wright, Theo, Goddard, Mitchell, advice for trades. I like this team. Harvey, Hampton, and Jacobs is nice. Jamar Chase is great. Don't like your quarterbacks. I do not like Caleb Williams. I think it's hard to trade, but Caleb's got some value. People do feel like he can be productive this year. If it were me, I would be trying to go get... I'd rather have Dak and Milton and then get some... If you could even get something... Sometimes people take Caleb before Dak, so you got to look at that. I would give up more to upgrade Caleb into a Mahomes, into a Bo Nix. I think that's a smart maneuver. What would I give up? I don't know. I'd probably go to the owner of Nix and Mahomes and Dak and see what they have in terms of RBs. Because if you could swap Jacob straight across for a Hendy or for a Kyren or for a Breece Hall, and it's not a downgrade to me, but they think they're getting an upgrade in Jacobs, and you can move that quarterback and upgrade the quarterback, I look at that. I think moving first rounders with Caleb to get Mahomes, move a first rounder with Caleb to get Nix would be a smart move. Moving Jacobs in a first rounder to go get a Hendy or a potential Bucky or Achane or someone of that caliber. And I believe in Hendy that much. And I would love to have you have all 3 of those running backs. Those are places I would take it. Sometimes those first rounders are required to get in trade out of Jacobs and trade out of Caleb. And for those that like Travis Hunter is going to be a DB. the funny part about Cincy, about your comment, which is jeez, man, which is so wild. It's probably one of the wildest things we heard all day. Travis Hunter is going to be a DB. The part that I love about what you just said is you said this, I just being honest. You may think you're being honest, but it doesn't mean you're speaking accurately. You're being honest with what you believe, but it's an unfortunate admission that you're being honest is really how off base you are. Like Travis Hunter, DB, what would make you think that? What would make you think that? They did. His coach just came out and said he's playing 80% of the offensive snaps. So I would love to know. And someone says he's trolling. I don't think so. That's everyone's excuse when they get blasted. And then everyone's like, what are you doing? They're like, I was just kidding. You're not kidding. You're not kidding, Cincy. That's what you feel. You're now tied to that. That's going to be your scarlet letter for the whole season. Congratulations for throwing it out there. Congratulations for putting on that scarlet letter. We got another super chat from Daniel coming in strong with the $25 holler. Look at Daniel go. Daniel, you're the man. You're the man.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20 super chat.
You guys see what I have to deal with every day? Just the repetitive. It's like I'm babysitting. You know, like a comment like that, like Travis Hunter's gonna be a DB. It's just like I'm babysitting. Sit down in the back. Stop talking. I'm driving. I'm trying to turn left here. Stop talking. And I got Cincy in the back going, DB, Travis Hunter's gonna be a DB. Are we there yet? I gotta pee. That's what your behavior's like when I'm live. It's people. It's comments like that. It feels like you're telling me, are we there yet? Are we there yet? On a 20-hour drive, and we just started. We're in hour 1. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? I gotta pee. I didn't pee at the house. I'm sorry. Smitty, I really appreciate your hard work. I appreciate your hard work, pal. If you are right or wrong, you always go through your rationale in depth. I also like that you're confident, not afraid to have different views and cover every topic. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you. And look, the thing is, I adjust and adapt. I admit when I'm wrong. People think I don't. I admitted when I was wrong on Baker. I missed on Baker hardcore. When I missed on Darnold as well, I admitted that. But I also said, I wonder how this is going to finish. And it does look like Darnold was a paper tiger. But I didn't see Darnold having that big success. Look, we missed some. We missed some. And never going to be 100% accurate. But we bring a lot of thunder to the table. And man, have we crushed this offseason. You know, so far, everything's been pretty on the money. We haven't had a lot of missteps at all. The only misstep we could have so far, and it's not even a misstep, really. We're still going to smash every start he gets, but let's say Rashee Rice gets a little more than the 2 to 4 game suspension. I don't think he's going to. People keep saying he's going to, but if he does, if the NFL comes down hard on him instead of being easy on him, when there's no alcohol involved, and just because it was reckless driving, the Addison stuff is thought to be more serious because there's alcohol related and it's repeat offense. That's something I can't control. It's my prediction. There's nothing really that we have tangible to go on other than the NFL's behavior. And they can come heavy on any topic anytime they want. They can have a heavy hand 1 minute, we always say, and a light hand the next minute. And you can't really make heads or tails of it. Sometimes it is wild. But we'll just have to see how Rice ends up playing out. The prediction's been 2 to 4 games with a slight lean toward this might surprise people in the light side, and people complain, it's the Chiefs. I can't believe the Chiefs. They get away with everything. Like, that's my prediction, and that's the only thing we really would have missed this year. There's really nothing else we've missed. We've called the Pickens trade. Everybody came for my neck that Pickens would be traded. Remember that? Remember Ron Navy and I screaming at each other left and right? I mean, we've called everything to a T. Travis Hunter would be a wide receiver. That Travis Hunter would play 80+% of the offensive snaps. And everybody's like Cincy, he'll be a DB. His coach just came out and squashed it all, finally put all of it to bed. He said Hunter is 80% a wide receiver. And the truth is, we're not done there. Travis Hunter is going to be 80% wide receiver. 80% of the wide receiver snaps, of the offensive snaps. He will play 80% of the offensive snaps. That's already been done. That's done. You want to argue that, you're farting in the wind. 80% of the offensive snaps. Boom. Bro, you're embarrassing yourself. You're just embarrassing yourself. Defense is easier to pick up. Bro, you're embarrassed. Pick up. What do you mean pick up? What do you mean pick up? He's not learning defense for the first time, buddy boy. He's also not learning wide receiver. You act like Travis Hunter is a new wide receiver. You act like he didn't play wide receiver and the best wide receiver in the nation last year. This is where people just don't have the information. It's not his fault. I don't mean to. It's not his fault. He thinks Travis Hunter is a part-time wide receiver. It's what he is. He thinks Travis Hunter didn't play full-time wide receiver in college. He thinks he's like dabbling and that he needs to learn wide receiver. You see, read his comment. His comment right here. Defensive back's a little easier to pick up. Pick up. Like Travis Hunter decided to pick up the wide receiver game. The man had Cincy, come on, bro. You're embarrassing yourself, bro. Your Hot Pocket's getting cold. Your Game Boy's running out of batteries. Turn it off. 1258, 15 touchdowns, 96 receptions. Bro, he's a full-time wide receiver. He's as big of a wide receiver prospect as anybody that's come out of college in the last decade, my boy. This guy's a bigger prospect as a college player walking into the pros than BTJ was. Do you understand that, Cincy? Do you really understand that he is a better prospect coming out of college, more prepared to play wide receiver than BTJ was? Do you understand that? I don't think you do. I think you think he's a part-timer that's picked up a book and he's going to learn a wide receiver for dummies. He's going to read it over the weekend. Not sure if he's decided to play the position or not. Unbelievable. It really, I feel like I'm babysitting 24/7. Thank you for the super chats. The last one, did I cover the last one? AZ says, in best ball, May or Herbert, Kincaid are likely. I'd probably say likely for the long term. Like if this is your second tight end, then I think he still goes crazy. And then I believe that you're probably going to want to go Herbert for safety. And I don't know. I mean, I guess May's got more upside. You know, if this is your second quarterback, I might go May for the big swing. If this is your first quarterback, I'd kind of want Herbert. You'd almost draft both those guys together in a best ball, and you could rotate that. That would be very nice rotation if you're going late quarterback shopping. I think May's going to take a big step forward. I think Herbert is a top 5 QB trapped inside a situation that will not allow him to be a top 5 QB. Herbert can't be a top 5 QB. He doesn't live in that environment. He's a top 5 QB from a skill perspective, but he does not live in that environment. May can get into the top 7, 8 area a little easier than Herbert, but Herbert's really good. It's just really a tough dilemma. A good question, though. Vote in the chat. May or Herbert in best ball. Round 3, JD5 or Hampton. Can you wait a second? Because we're going to get there. And I think this will explain to you. Mahalo, Smitty. Appreciate you, Ben. Ben, here we go. This one's for you. Chase Brown was top 5 running back in the second half of the season. We yelled Chase Brown all offseason. Weeks 1, I look stupid. Week 2, I look like a moron. Week 3, I look like I didn't know ball. Because I said Chase Brown all offseason. And a few people decided to jump ship a little early. And then Chase Brown's season slowly but surely came swinging. And your boy, you know, a lot of people ask me to perform miracles on this channel. Smitty, make something amazing happen. And I say, you know what? I can. Watch this. Watch this right here. I'll take this and boom. And then out of nowhere, zoom in on this bad boy. Zoom in on that.
They laughed when we said he was about to be an unstoppable force for all to see. with Chase Brown. Chase Brown. Get up, get down with Chase Brown. Chase Brown. Get up, get down with Chase Brown. Chase Brown. Get up, get down with Chase Brown.
We told you. We told you. We told you.
Mashed potatoes! Yeah, buddy.
We told you. Chase Brown's season was in full effect, and boy, did we tell you. Love the kid. He's a great third-round pick. If you got to take him at the bottom of 2, I don't mind either if you're in a jam. Probably repeats exactly what he did last year, if not plays even better. Hampton is probably my next favorite third-round pick. Now, again, like I said to you, I can't find in some of these rounds, I try to get you somebody to play amazing football at the top of the round, at the middle of the round, and then someone at the bottom that could span from like the top to the bottom. Like in Jeanty's case, you could take them 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Smitty had folks yelling Chase Brown at the airport. Yeah, who was it that won that contest? I forget who that was. Forgive me for forgetting, but the guy that won the contest, it was Chase Brown. I think we have a new contest, okay? Somebody send me a video clip. You can send it to me on IG. Make it 59 seconds or under. Send it to me on IG at The Fantasy Football Show. Best video clip gets a 3-month membership on the Patreon free. Free 3 months on the Patreon. Whoever sends me the best video clip of them doing something with HHH and Associates, whether that's pretending to call it with their wife next to them, like, who are you calling? Going up to somebody in a random place, yelling it from the rooftops, going to a mall and yelling, HHH and Associates in the house. Whatever you got to do, something relating to that best video clip wins a 3-month membership on the Patreon. So have at it. Try and win that. The Patreon is my year-round, 24/7, 365 live chat group. And if you want to join that now, it's just $10 a month. Join anytime. Right here, I'll drop it. There it is right there. I want entries. If anybody wants to join the Patreon, there's the link right there. I want entries submitted to me before the end of August. The winner will win a... Hell, let's make it a 4-month membership on the Patreon. 4 months free on the Patreon to the best video. Deadline, end of August. Do it live. And then we got a $20 hauler from Aldi dropping a wad on the screen. Aldi, appreciate you, my boy. Aldi, to the mother freaking moon.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Yeah, get those Chase Brown entries in. I'll create a board for that so we can hit it, and then it'll summarize what it is. But anything with HHH and Associates, you want to make a T-shirt, you want to do anything you want to do. It can be anything exciting. If you use anybody that's you got to make sure that they grant permission to be in the video. Okay. So please, if you do film it with a stranger, have them say on camera so it's all in there that you can use this. Okay, make sure you send me that. Get their permission or I can't use it. Let's see here. Do you think RJ Harvey falls in home leagues now with the BS news that dropped today? I have a big money league, 12-man PPR with 0.5. Yeah, I think as long as there's a time for it to be absorbed. I think in home leagues and buddy leagues, they're going to be a little less on top of things, but they're surely going to see the blurb on them that will be updated on the platform that you're drafting on. They'll hear something. There's a lot of negativity around it. But the problem is if before you draft, he ends up popping off a 50-yard scrimmage touchdown run, then it's going to wipe some of that away. Hendy in the 4th round of reach. It is a reach. He's going in 5. And you'll see in a second. Let me get through this right here, and you'll see what I'm talking about and where. And we'll discuss Hendy in a second because you know he's on this board. So Chase Brown to the moon. Appreciate my boy Chase Brown. Let's move on. Hampton. I love Hampton here. Hampton, as I said, these guys are kind of tight up in round 3. It's not like I can find. If you need to go with a deeper call, you're going to want to have Breece Hall right here. Breece Hall would be the guy to. And let me answer it. The phone lines are not open yet, but BBQ is a special case. He gets to break through real quickly. BBQ, what can I help you with real quick, pal?
Hey, man, I just this RJ Harvey stuff cracking me up. So last year, somebody dropped Chase Brown. I picked him up, rode him all the way to the championship, beat the guy that dropped him in the championship. So the thing about RJ Harvey is, like, if this is scaring you, I want people to drop him or get scared of him and be able to trade for him. This guy is a monster. They picked him for this role, and if a depth chart is scaring you, I mean, come on, this guy is a stud.
Sleep with the lights on. People that are scared of this, they sleep with the lights on. They got to have the closet door closed.
Those first few weeks, people will be trading. They're gonna be like, "Oh, he's not doing what Smitty said." So trade for him. Go grab him. You didn't get him. You didn't get him in the draft. Trade for him.
There is a chance that, and even the four horsemen. Let's pull up the four horsemen real quickly. Even one of these guys, probably not Jeanty. One of these guys, probably not Hampton. So Hendy or Harvey, most likely, and Hunter to a degree. One of Hendy, Harvey, Hunter will probably have a slower start than all of us expect, just like Chase Brown did. And BBQ is correct. We will have panic ensue. And someone's calling up to the phone line. It doesn't seem like it's possible, but it is. Believe me, people dropped Kenneth Walker. They dropped Chase Brown. Someone's going to call in and go, Harvey got dropped in my league. How much fab should I throw on RJ Harvey, Smitty? And I'm going to say, take a lap for even asking. It's a full load drop, pal. It's a full load drop.
Initiate full load drop.
So, yeah.
Those first few weeks, opportunity buying. You didn't get him in the draft. That's the opportunity. People are panicking. I mean, that's the time to pick up the value and ride it to a championship.
Yeah, but this is to stay on your toes. This guy right here, Jesse, you're saying you the idea of not drafting him and then trading for him, you can't leave it to chance though, because this opportunity that you think might be there is an if. Harvey's still going to play week 1. Harvey's still going to be used in week 1. If he wasn't, then yes, people would panic. But you can't sit there and go, if you miss out on him, be on the alert. There's a reason. I have a buy low, sell high video every single week. So coming out of week 1, there'll be a buy low show. There'll be a sell high show. So you will most certainly see Harvey, Hendy, or Hunter, one of the three, on that show, because someone's going to panic because one of them didn't do anything. And if it's Hunter, it's going to be massive panic. If it's Harvey, I think there'll still be enough people more than Hunter that will say, we kind of expected that there could be a bump in the road. And so I know Harvey from week 4, week 5 on is going to explode. And so I think they'd be a little more patient with Harvey or Hendy because there's that understanding. But if Travis Hunter comes out and has 33 yards receiving and 3 receptions, the entire world is going to go, he's a bust. And we're going to be there to clean up on the buy low Travis Hunter. I know a lot of people are talking a mad game in the chat right now too, and I believe a lot of you. But there's some of you that are going to say, yeah, I'm with you on that. There'll be about 20% flip rate in the live chat. The live chat, there'll be about a 20 to 30% flip rate. We'll have massive panic and pandemonium in the live chat coming out of a week 1 recap show on Sunday afternoon when I go live after the morning and afternoon games. Is that Jaguar game? And what time is that one? Does anybody know? Let me see. Is that Jaguar game? Jaguars. Let's see. Well, regardless, it doesn't matter. If it was an afternoon or morning game, people are going to come out of that one and just be like in just massive panic. All right, hey BBQ, call back when I'm done with the round, every pick in every round.
Yes,
all right.
Yeah,
thank you. All right, let me get back to this. Appreciate the super chats, everybody. You guys absolutely rock. Aldi, thank you so much. Let me get to. So I'm going to answer the question here. Aldi's question was around. What was it? RJ Harvey falls, and then you said Hendy in 4. So I'm going to address that. And then the other question was about, what was it? It was Hampton. Round 3, JD5 or Hampton. Okay. So to answer your question about JD5 and Hampton, we're sitting here, and we have Hampton in round 3. Fantastic player. I honestly could take him at the end of 2 if I had to. all three of these guys are second-round capable monsters, and I'll have a video on that. That your last resort, if you aren't comfortable with the players left in round 2, London's gone, Achane's gone, Bucky's gone, and you don't like the usual suspects, who are the 3 players that I condone you reaching on? These 3 guys are okay. They crowd in the top of round 3 anyway. None of them fall really late in 3. And so if you had to go Chase Brown and Kyren with your back-to-back picks, I'm fine with that. If you had to go Hampton and Chase Brown or Hampton and Kyren, I'm fine with that. Hampton's probably going to have a top 12 running back season this year, and Najee's going to be nowhere to be found, really. I think Najee could come back to a limited role, but Najee has to have lost vision in one of his eyes. He has to have, because he just got cleared about 24 to 48 hours ago to take walking laps around the field. He was not even cleared to walk. Rock Out, appreciate your super chat. He's on day 14, 12,000 steps. Rock Out's been crushing it. We'll talk about the challenge later after all this is done. Rock Out, thank you for the super chat. Hampton is the lone starter, because Najee and Hampton walked in together, and Najee's nowhere to be found. The firework incident, the mishap where he may have lost part of the vision in one of his eyes. And as I told you before, if you stick your hand out, don't keep your hand close to your face. Put your hand in front of you, almost like extend your elbow, and put a circle right over my face, right over my nose, okay? And then cover one of your eyes, and I'll either move out of the circle or I'll stay in the circle. Then cover your other eye. I'll either move or I'll stay in the circle. You just proved you have one dominant eye. And we don't even know which eye he lost or might have lost vision in or is trying to get the vision back in. We don't know if it was a retina or cornea situation or an optic nerve. To me, it sounds very optic nerve-like for him to not be able to jostle his head around at all, because he might lose total vision or have some longer term issue. He's got to let it heal. Everything's got to settle. And the fact that he was only approved to walk right now, he can't run. He's going to be out of shape. He's kind of a heavier guy anyway. You think Najee Harris is going to be in shape once he's able to run again? He's going to have to get all that back. The injury risk goes up, even though he's never missed a game. This guy's so far behind. Hampton's taken the starting job. There's no going back. He's the future. The draft capital's there. This is the future. What, are you going to dial it back? Let's reel it back in. It's already, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. This is his team. Najee's a nothing burger at this point. As harsh as that is, he's a cuff. He's a little itty bitty cuff, and he's not even one of the top 5 cuffs in the league. So don't worry about Najee. Hampton season's in full effect. And so Hampton's the pick. So to the JD5 question earlier, JD5's an amazing 4th round pick. Do you got to take him in 3 sometimes? Yeah. And if you had to, and these guys were all gone, I would take JD5 here. But I'm taking Brown, Hampton, and Kyren, and a handful of other players before I take JD5. But once those guys are gone, JD5 at the bottom of 3 is a freaking home run. But he's going in 4 on Underdog, promo code Smitty. Anybody wants to draft with us, we draft almost every single night at midnight Eastern. You've got to hit this link and sign up, and you'll get 50% match on your first deposit. And the minimum is only freaking $10. The minimum is only $10. So hit that link. I'll pin the link. Oh, that's the Patreon link. I'll pin this. Click that too. Join the Patreon. This is the best ball link to draft best ball. Smash that. Let me pin that link in the live chat. That is pinned. Make sure you are ready to rumble when we go live almost every single midnight to draft. But in best ball, JD5 goes in 4. You can get him at the bottom of 4. You can get him at the middle of 4. You can get him at the top of 4, like clockwork. He goes from 4.1 to 4.12. But yeah, home leagues, non-best ball, you have to go higher. Just make sure he's below. To answer that question, make sure he's below these 3 guys. And a handful of others we could talk about, but JD5 is a marvel. Look, JD5, nobody's higher on JD5 than this channel. I can tell you that right now. We crushed the JD5 content. We put the haters in the shadows. The haters scattered like cockroaches. We said this is the best quarterback in the draft. Not only is this the best quarterback in the draft, he is in the best situation. His situation in Washington's better than the situation in Chicago that everybody said was the best situation it's ever been handed to a quarterback. And Caleb isn't even the number 2 quarterback in the draft class. Caleb's not even the number 3 quarterback in the draft class. Caleb's not even the number 4 quarterback in the draft class. Caleb's not even the number 5 quarterback in the draft class. You heard me correct, and I am correct. Everything I've said about Caleb Williams has come true to a T. From his coaching staff to his offensive coordinator, to them both being fired, to Shane Waldron being the biggest mistake. This is, look, we've nailed this to a T. Penix Jr., Drake May, all these quarterbacks, Bo Nix especially, all are better than Caleb by a country mile. Jalen Milroe's better than Caleb Williams. If you don't think that's true, just wait about 2 months. Jaden Daniels is a monster. A monster. A monster. He could run for 1,000 yards in any given season. He could run for 6 to 7 touchdowns, maybe 10 in any given season, and he's just scratching the surface. We're telling you Drake May is going to take a big step forward, right? We talk about Penix Jr. taking a big step forward. We talk about Caleb taking a big step forward. We don't, but other people do. So why can't JD5 take a big step forward? Because he was so good, he can't? Imagine if this guy gets better, which he will. He could throw for 35 touchdowns or someday 40 and still run for 10. Oh, he can't do that. Yes, he can. Watch him. Washington's a Super Bowl contender, and McLaurin ain't going anywhere. You know how I know that? Because Keenan Allen was holding out for Washington. The moment Keenan Allen signed with the Chargers after a long wait makes it very evident that he went, talked to Washington. I wouldn't be surprised if we find this out. This is just my speculation to educated guess. It would not be shocking to me if we find out that he talked to Washington. They said there's no spot here. We're not trading McLaurin. And he lowered his head and went back to the Chargers and said, will you have me? Because there's no room there. There's no seats taken. And McLaurin ain't going anywhere. They'll call his bluff. Maybe he holds a little more injury risk, whatever the case may be. JD5's going to the moon. Rashee Rice is also one of my favorite picks in round 4. We talked about it. Maybe he gets 2 to 4 games. Maybe I'm wrong. This would be the first L we've taken really all offseason. And it wouldn't even be that big of an L. If he got 6 games instead of my 2 to 4, not a big deal. My guess, though, is that this is the commissioner's team. This is his golden team. Mahomes is his golden boy. Taylor Swift runs this outfit. The Eras Tour. They plan everything around it. This is it. This is the golden boy, Mahomes. And even if he does, serve a 6-game suspension, I still love him. He falls to 5 or 6, and then we're just like, we're in a different world, right? There's pre-announcement of the actual suspension and post-announcement of the actual suspension. We will live 2 best ball and fantasy football draft lives at that point. It'll be, hey, remember when we took Rice earlier than we needed to? That sucked, but guess what? Now we clean up with Rice in round 6. Whatever the case may be. He gets a 6-game suspension, he's probably going in 5 or 6. I think once the 2 to 4 game suspension becomes official, he falls from 4 to maybe 5.1, or at least the bottom of 4. He can win you a league. This is a top 5 wide receiver per start. Mahomes is going to be a top 5 QB this year. Even if he got 6 games, Mahomes is still a top 5 QB this year. Mahomes has equally as good a receiving room as any of the top 5 receiving rooms and quarterbacks that have top 5 receiving rooms in the league. Pass catching rooms and sum total. Even with Rice out of the picture, this is still maybe a top 8 pass catching room. You've got Kelsey losing 20 pounds, probably does pretty well. Noah Gray's ready if they need him. And he's been very effective when they've called upon him. Worthy's a mature wide receiver 1 now. I mean, he could play that role. With Rice there, maybe he's a high end 2. But if Worthy needs to step up, Worthy was the most consistent wide receiver in the league, minus maybe 1 player, once he got going. In his final 5 played games, including 1 bad game, I'm not cherry picking, in his final 5 played games in 2024, Worthy would have paced out if you extrapolated that 5 games. The last 5 played games he played, no cherry picking, he would have finished as the wide receiver 2 in fantasy. He was ultra consistent. He wasn't early on. So, rice to the mother flipping moon. Draft him everywhere you can. Josh Allen is a guy that in home leagues is probably going in 3. In some leagues, he goes in 2. Like, grandma leagues are weird. But if he goes around that 3-4 turn, he's another one that I could throw out here. It's tough to say. Like I said, if you need somebody at this bottom part or top part of 4 that's different, Breece Hall would be the call. I would throw Breece Hall in this area easily. Breece Hall could be running back 2 or 3 or 4 on the year. He could be 10. He could be 12. There's some risk level. There's different wide variety of outcomes and range of outcomes. But Breece Hall could certainly be the number 4 running back, number 5 running back, number 6 running back. And people that say different, I don't know. They just hate Breece Hall for some reason. They hate the Jets. They hate a lot of things. I can't explain that. I'm not responsible for that, and I don't really care. Breece Hall's a fantastic 3rd to 4th round pick. Trade Mixon for Tank and a 3rd, and he means Tank Bigsby. I take Tank Bigsby in a 3rd, to be honest, bro. Mixon doesn't have a lot left in the tank. He's in a walking boot constantly. He's got more than one lower body problem right now, and Woody Mark season's in full effect.
You've just been Smitty approved.
What about Chubb, Smitty? What about Nick Chubb? What about him? It's Woody Marks. Learn about it. Viral, how bad would it be if I took Chase Brown at 20? Not bad. And Hampton next. I just said, if any of these 3, like I said, Viral, any of these 3, you may have just got here. Any of these 3 players are the emergency player for round 2. If you're not liking what you see, if Chase's, Irvin's gone, London's gone, Achan's gone, these 3 guys, Achan, Chase Brown, and Hampton, are emergency 2nd round players, and then just take the other one that you didn't take in 3. So 100%, and I'll have a video on this to even further amplify the point. Round 5, Hendy. Hendy could be a top 6 to 10 running back this year. Hendy could be the league's best receiving back this year. Hendy could win Rookie of the Year this year. Hendy could be a player that's more integral and important to his offense over anybody in the National Football League. This is Christian McCaffrey valuable to his team. Best pass pro running back in the league, protecting Drake May. Maybe best receiving back in the league within 1 calendar year, proving that his rookie year. Maybe catches 70 to 80 balls a season once he gets going, in his rookie year might end up with 70. Might get 6 to 7 receiving touchdowns per year, 7 to 8 to 900 rushing yards, and 5 to 7 rushing touchdowns per year. Double-digit touchdown lock, 70-plus reception lock, and easily what equates to probably a 1,500-plus total yardage total. This guy's a monster. Absolute monster. Love everything about Hendy. They have him running wheel routes, drag routes, go routes. He's running wide receiver plays and routes all the time. He might be their number 1 wide receiver this year. And he's the best blocking running back in the league, which is super important for keeping you on the field. There might be no running back exiting 2025 and looking at 2026 that has more of a guaranteed amount of volume, that's Alvin Kamara guaranteed, that's so important in the receiving game, could get you 100 yards receiving any game, could get you 900 receiving yards and 70 receptions any given season. There might be no more important player for his team and more guaranteed volume than Trey Henderson coming out of 2025. What a monster. What an HHH and associate beast this kid is.
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates. Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
Let's see here. Where were we at? We're back to this board here. I'll try and go faster. What is it? 6:41 my time. Okay, next one is going to be Hunter. Keep dropping the super chats. I'll answer them in order in which they're received. Travis Hunter. Cheat code.
Up, down, left, right. BA select start.
Warning. Cheat code activated.
Is this PPR or best ball? Bro, I'm literally talking about all formats as I'm doing this. I'm saying best ball. I'm saying grandma leagues. I'm saying home leagues. I'm literally walking through all of those in one. I don't do just one. I do it all, bro. This isn't Dynasty, but we even have Dynasty conversations, you know? In Dynasty, this whole thing looks very, very much the same across the board because the young players are taking over and bumping all the old players out. I'm not much of a old player ranking type of guy anyway. The only player that's a little bit older at all is Kyren. Everyone else is a young monster. So this is all, you know, of course the rounds and the ADPs vary a little bit, but they're all monsters that you want to draft as well in Dynasty. Travis Hunter, you know, there are people that just don't know what they're saying, and it's okay. You just got to wave to him. Hey, this is one of the best receiving prospects to come out of college, maybe ever, but in the last, 5 to 10 years. And if you put him and took him out of this class and threw him in the last year's class, before you know what BTJ is, before you know what Ladd McConkey feels and looks like, this is a player, Hunter, that would have been a better and higher draft pick and better prospect than BTJ, than Ladd McConkey, than everybody but maybe Neighbors and MHJ. So he would be right up there with those guys. The fact that people have this weird narrative, like the guy Cincy earlier, is like, it's easier to pick up what? Why would somebody think that he needs to pick up something? Why is he any different than BTJ or Ladd McConkey at the wide receiver position? What on earth makes anybody think, like the Cincy character that was complaining about this situation, what on earth makes anybody think that he's got to learn more than BTJ or learn more than Ladd McConkey or learn more than Neighbors or learn more than MHJ at the wide receiver position? What makes somebody say something so wildly inaccurate like, oh, it's hard to pick up receiver, easier to pick up deep? He doesn't have to pick up either. He's a master at both. Do you know what an expert is? You know what a subject matter expert is, Cincy? You might have subject matter expertise in trolling, so you kind of know. But subject matter expert is somebody that doesn't pick it up. They're a master. He's an expert wide receiver. He's an expert DB. He doesn't have to pick up anything. This guy's walking in, and what's going to blow your mind right now is that Hunter's going to play 80% of the offensive snaps. That's already locked in by head coach's mouth. His words, 80%. Does anybody realize that's a Hunter hater that he's going to play 80% of the defensive snaps before long? Might not be week one. His goal is to play 160% of the entire amount of total snaps. 80% of the offense, 80% of the defense. And you know how many people are going to act like they know what's good for him? They know from their couch and their swivel chair. He can't do that. There's no way he can't do that. Oh, he can't do that. Why? Well, I heard he can't do that. I heard he can't do that. I'm going to regurgitate. I'm going to repeat what I heard. I'm going to repeat what I heard. I'm going to repeat it like a parrot. He can't do that. He'll get hurt. What's the note say? He'll get hurt. He will get hurt, Smitty. I'm not reading this. I saw it on another channel. He can't play both sides of the ball. It's just not possible. He's going to play 80% of the snaps on offense. He's eventually going to ease into what he hopes to be. Maybe it's 60. Maybe he's off. Maybe it's 55, 60. 80% of the snaps on defense. Do you know, let's ask Kruger, what his percentage of snaps were on offense last year at the college level? Let's see if Kruger can help us with that information. So let's get Kruger in here. Kruger, where are you at, bro? This is where I think he's helping other people, and it's like the movie Her. He gets all offended. Hey, Kruger, what was the percentage of offensive snaps? You're on the live show, by the way, that Travis Hunter played on offense last year.
In 2024, Travis Hunter played about 86.8% of Colorado's offensive snaps, which is pretty impressive.
And so his expectation is to play 80% at the pro level. That seems pretty accurate. Seems pretty parallel and on course, wouldn't you say, Krug?
Yeah, it definitely seems like he's on track. If he's already hitting those.
Okay, hey, another thing. What's the percentage of snaps he played on defense last year at Colorado?
On the defensive side, he played around 82.9% of the snaps.
Well, looky here, Reindeer Kruger. What about in 2023? What was the percentage of offensive snaps and the percentage of defensive snaps?
In 2023, he actually had the same percentages, about 86.8% on offense and 82.9% on defense.
So you're telling me that in 2024 he played 82.9% of the snaps on defense, 86 on offense, and in 2024 he played 82 again and 86 on offense. Identical. This is a man of precision. This is a man that knows what he wants. This is a man that does exactly what he did percentage-wise from year to year. It's an insane amount of accuracy right there. 86 in both years, 82.9 in both years. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is insane. So playing 80% of the snaps on offense in 2025 is an embarrassment for all of those that said he played DB. All the people that say he's going to play more DB still, it's embarrassing. You're embarrassing yourself. 1258, 15 TDs, 96 receptions. The guy's a master at wide receiver. Putting on a master class. This guy comes in as one of the best wide receiver prospects in the game. In FBS the last decade. He comes in as one of the better, if not the best cornerback prospect in the entire draft class. This is a guy that plays both sides of the ball at an 86 and an 82% clip for 2 straight years in college. Something no one's ever done, by the way. No one's done that. What makes you think he's not the one to do it for the first time when he's the only one that's done it successfully 2 years in a row? Two years in a row he's done it, and yet you from your couch, sitting there in your swivel chair at home, he can't do it. He'll get hurt. I heard it on another channel. I heard that he can't do it. This guy's going to break IDP. IDP leagues that score him aggressively have him as scoring more points than Jeanty. Most IDP leagues that are aggressive for IDP scoring have Travis Hunter slated for like 50 to 100 points more than Jeanty and have him as like the number 1, number 2 wide receiver. And you know what's crazy about that? Their projections offensively don't hold a candle to my offensive projections. So what do you think that means? That means that whatever the program, whatever your league management software is projecting for him is low. They have him for about, I'd say most platforms have Hunter at about 800 and maybe 6 touchdowns, maybe 50 to 55 receptions, I'd imagine. I have him catching 1,100 yards, running for 150 to 200, getting you a total of 1,250 to 1,350 total yards. Catching 80 balls, there's 80 points there in PPR. Catching 8 to 9 to 10 touchdowns, running another 1 to 3 in. This is a 12-plus touchdown player, 80-plus receptions, and 1,400 to 1,450 total yards. Imagine what the projections would say if you plug those numbers in. Cheat code in IDP, wide receiver 1 in fantasy, a quiet one. No one's saying you draft him in 5. In some leagues, you can steal him in 6. If you get Travis Hunter in 6, I don't know how you screw that one up. I don't know how you screw up not winning that league. This is a guy that is going to play like a low-end wide receiver 1. This is a guy that's going to play him and BTJ, top 12 wide receivers every single year. Travis Hunter will outscore BTJ some years. They'll rotate. This is not the number 2. I know you want it to be. BTJ owners, I love BTJ. He's a freaking he's a Jupiter man, but he's also a supernova. I love BTJ. There's no cutting BTJ down to size just because he's just as good as BTJ. You're getting it twisted. You think that because I think he's as good as BTJ and will play like that on a rotational basis, you think I'm cutting BTJ down to size. I'm not. BTJ is a top 10 wide receiver. Travis Hunter is a top 10 wide receiver. They will rotate year in and year out, being one better than the other. They will score at 6 and 11 in fantasy football wide receiver scoring. The next year, 9 and 8. The next year, 12 and 11. The next year, 6 and 7. And you might say, well, that means T-Law is a world star. No, it does not. T-Law can do that from QB 7 numbers. Not to mention he's still doing a lot on the ground, which isn't accounted for in T-Law's numbers. You got to understand that. This is a guy that lives off of about 203 TDs outside of the T-Law volume. Doubt him all you want. It's you're just gonna get laughed at. RJ Harvey. Wait, where's my number? Don't I have another number 5 somewhere? We might run into him. I might have moved him. I don't know where my other number 5 is. We'll dig into that in a little bit. Harvey. We've already talked about Harvey. Oh, but Smitty, the news is he's 5th on the depth chart. Kamara was 4, 3, 5 on the depth charts. Kamara number 3 on the unofficial Saints depth chart. His rookie year under Sean Payton caught 81 balls. I don't need to go over this again. You doubt Harvey, that's your own problem. I'm done explaining arithmetic, to people that want to just learn simple addition. You want to learn simple addition too, I'll tell you. Harvey plus Hendy equals championship. Hunter, Harvey, Hendy, Jeanty equals championship.
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates. Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
Do it live. Do it live. Horsemen, 4 horsemen, draft it. Do it live. Harvey's a league winner. There's no bigger league winner in fantasy football right now than maybe RJ Harvey. Love all 3 of these guys right here. In this 5 range, the Hendy, Hunter, Harvey combo, these Triple H's right here, these guys are league winners in 5-6. Just straight up league winners. Home run league winning monsters. Any super chats will get handled in order in which they're received. Marty, appreciate you. Jeanty over Gibbs. No, I mean, I just ranked my running backs earlier. They're right here on the board. So, I think Jeanty could outscore him, but this is how I'm ranking him. Jeanty at 3, and Gibbs and Bijan are arguably 1, but Bijan for me. And then Bucky, Achane. These are my top 5 running backs. So the answer is no. Doesn't mean that we're sitting here going doesn't mean we're sitting here going Jeanty can't do it. Workload versus Monty split. I don't know what you mean Monty split, Marty. I have no idea what that means. Monty split? What Monty split? There's never been a Monty split. There is no Monty is irrelevant. Monty has nothing to do with Jahmyr Gibbs. Something, and Marty, I appreciate you. I'm not mad at you at all. I just the fact that pisses me off a little bit that people make people believe things, and it's like you hear it over and over. Monty. If Monty's in the game, Monty's in the game. Gibbs was number 2 or 1 last year. Monty played. He missed what? How many games did Monty miss last year? 4 or 5. It was 4 or 5. One of the 2. Gibbs is number 1, number 2, depending on your scoring format. He finished number 1 in one of my scoring formats. Gibbs, they're nothing to do with each other. There's nothing. There's no split. There's no Monty Gibbs split. The team runs the ball 500 times a season. Gibbs is the third down back. He's the third down back. He gets all the third down work. He can't possibly run the ball 500 times. There's no Monty split. There's zero Monty split. None. That doesn't exist. It's not a thing. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. I hope you know that. I hope you know that, Marty. I'm not screaming at you. I'm passionate about the topic. There is zero Monty split. It does not exist. It's a fugazi. It's fairy dust. Pixie dust. Doesn't exist. There's no Monty split. Someone made that up, and then other people repeated it. There's 500 carries. All right, let's call 472. 472 carries. There's 472 carries. Somebody's got to pull some weight. If Monty got abducted by aliens today, guess what? Someone's going in to take Monty's job. It's not Monty. It's not Gibbs getting ripped anything from him. And not to mention, they're going to use Gibbs all over the field this year. And they're going to be down and needing to throw. They've got no Ben Johnson. Gibbs is going to be out there. Appreciate your super chat, Marty. Marty, I'm not mad at you. Marty to the moon. Marty, please report to the moon, please.
To the moon.
Monty split. Why does it keep coming back? Mahomes, so Harvey to the moon. Anybody that doubts Harvey? I feel so bad for him. Your meatloaf's getting cold. Your Game Boy just ran out of batteries, so you got nothing else to do but complain about Harvey. And your Hot Pocket doesn't taste good, and so you're bitter, you're mad, you're upset. You hear Ron Navy eating steak every night on this channel, and you got a warmed up Hot Pocket that got cold, and your Game Boy fell on it, and your Game Boy's dirty, and your mama's yelling at you because you're hogging all the internet usage, and she's going over and she's screaming at you, "We're over the 20 gigs, Stevie," and you're just so mad and upset. You're complaining about Harvey. You're scared about Harvey. You're getting bad information about Harvey. Harvey's a league winner. Harvey might be the best pick in all of fantasy football 2025. And if he falls to 6 like I'm projecting here, and especially if he falls further, you are absolutely winning your league unless you crap the bed at every round, which is possible if you're Stevie. Mahomes, even if you took Rice off the field the entire year, Worthy, Royals looks like a beast. Brashard Smith, converted wide receiver, looks like a monster. Royals and Brashard Smith are being run with the wide receiver ones. Don't ask us why, just say, "Thank you, sir, may I have another." Reed said they're throwing the ball downfield this year. Mahomes is angry. Not getting the three-peat, getting called the dad bod master. And so he goes out there and puts on the weights, puts on the muscle, looks pretty fit right now. Mahomes is coming for everybody. And this whole notion that Mahomes hasn't been a good QB for several years now, I heard that on another channel too. I heard that Mahomes hasn't been a good QB and probably won't return. We just got to let go of the idea of Mahomes being a top 5 QB. Well, that's funny because he's been a top 4 QB more than he's ever been outside of the top 4. Chew on that. Chew on that and stop complaining and get with the program. Mahomes is going to be a top 5 QB this year, whether you like it or not. And Rashee Rice is not getting suspended for the entire season, whether you like it or not. And even if he's missing, let's say, 6 games in a worst-case scenario where the commissioner wakes up on the wrong side of the bed and forgets that his favorite team is the Kansas City Chiefs and that Taylor Swift rules the entire league, guess what? Who cares? He's still balling out because Worthy's a wide receiver 1 in that scenario. Kelsey dropped 20 LBs, probably plays pretty good. Hollywood's back. And even if Hollywood can't stay healthy, Royals looks like a monster. They drafted a real one in Royals. Royals is a solid wide receiver. Brashard Smith, converted wide receiver that was super successful as a running back last year, racking up a monster stat line. This guy was a successful converted wide receiver into a running back, but he still catches balls like any other wide receiver in this draft class other than like Hendy and Harvey. Harvey and Hendy are and Jeanty. Those are the 3 best receiving backs in this draft class. Brashard Smith's right up there. Right up there. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt also is a monster sleeper that we've talked about on this channel over and over and over and over. Get with the program. Deebo Samuel, love the kid. You guys hear me talk about Deebo all the time. He's getting some valuable camp work right now with McLaurin crying in the corner. No offense to McLaurin, but he's not thinking straight. His agent's in his head. You're a young guy. You can still got 5 years. He doesn't. It's on McLaurin. This is on McLaurin right now. It's not on the Commanders. You can think what you want. They need to pay him. Yeah, they should just pay him. Yeah, well, why don't you do that? Why don't you see how that works? Let players dictate whatever they want. It sounds like, according to many reports, one by Diana Rossini, which take that for what it is, that he wants to get a little bit of scratch for the previous years. That's not how the world works. Sorry, this isn't the 49ers where they pay you for the past. Debo's going to the moon, whether you like it or not. Debo doesn't look slow. Debo's not packing on the pounds. Debo's in the best shape of his life. And if you don't know different than that, if you haven't consumed differently from me, if you've listened to somebody that's got an old video where he looks like he's carrying extra LBs, he's running an insane miles per hour on the treadmill with Lee Gett the other day. He looks phenomenally quick working with the footwork god. This is a guy that's ready in the best shape of his life, and you think he's overweight and all this. You're listening to the wrong content, pal. This guy's going to the moon this year, and his cost of entry protects in any concern you might have from last year, leaving you hanging a little bit. This is Debo Samuel in rounds 6-7. This is not Debo Samuel in rounds 3-4. Get with it, or you're going to watch everybody clean up and get a potential low-end wide receiver one at times, playing like a top 15 to 18 wide receiver, almost 18 to 20 wide receiver, almost the entire year, and he's going to be one of the bigger steals in retrospect. Igbuka, nobody's been higher on Igbuka than this channel. We're higher on all these guys. We've constantly come to work, come to battle. We go live. In my opinion, live more than any other channel, in my opinion. You know, we go live when news breaks. We go live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. This show right here, I'm not even done with round 7, and we're 2 hours into this show. 1 hour and 56 minutes and 54 seconds into this show, and I'm in round 7. Igbuka's going to the moon. Igbuka's such an amazing route runner. Igbuka has had a tougher wide receiver room than he's dealing with right now. Igbuka's college wide receivers were better in college than they are right now. Do you understand what that means? That means that Mike Evans, Godwin, Jalen McMillan, those guys don't hold a candle to the players that he's played with on the same team, on the same roster at the same time. He's played with Jackson Smith and Jigba, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Jeremiah Smith. And he's been asked to rove around the whole field, play all 3 positions. He's going to explode. 10 TDs, 1,000 yards, 81 receptions, 6'1", 205, and loves to invite contact, is better with contact than any receiver in this draft class, brings that kick return mentality to it. When he gets the ball, he's looking to go to the house every single time. This guy's going to be a monster. This guy's going to be a top 12 dynasty wide receiver. You might just not know it yet. And if you do know it, then congrats. Good on you.
Mashed potatoes!
You already know it. You've been watching this channel. Igbuka to the moon. Igbuka's going to be a superstar in this league. Get with it. Best 7th round pick you can find. He's climbing on underdog into round 6 in grandma leagues and home leagues and non-best ball. He's kind of going in 7-8. So he's got a kind of a high draft capital cost of entry in best ball. He's climbing to the bottom of 6. But you know you can get him here pretty regularly. Bo Nix is a monster top 7 quarterback, maybe top 5 to 7 quarterback this year. Bo Nix is going to bring the thunder. Bo Nix outscored Jalen Hurts last year. People don't really realize that. Bo Nix can run for 700 or 800 yards on the ground and 10 touchdowns in any given season. He's going to arguably be the best rushing quarterback outside of JD5. You could put May in there as well. You could put, obviously, Lamar in there. But when push comes to shove 4 or 5 years from now, when maybe injuries tack up on Lamar, this guy's going to be in the top 3 rushing QB category. I'm not saying this year. I'm saying he will be. That's how good he is at running the ball. And once the tush push is banned, he will be better than Jalen Hurts on every single level. He's already crushing Jalen Hurts in passing touchdowns, crushing Jalen Hurts in accuracy, crushing Jalen Hurts in passing yards. And the only thing that Jalen Hurts beats him in right now is rushing touchdowns because of the tush push. But the commissioner is going to be on the case next offseason. He got caught off guard this year, thought he had enough votes, realized that the league outsmarted him, and the commissioner is going to plan and corrupt his way into getting the tush push banned after this year. And then Nix is going to be on the same level as Jalen Hurts on every single rushing aspect, because Jalen Hurts will be back to a 10, which is great, a 10 TD type of rushing season, and Nix will also get that. Nix will get the same rushing yards, if not more, than Jalen Hurts. And Nix will have, unlike Jalen Hurts, 35-plus passing touchdowns, 4,500-plus yards every single year. Jalen Hurts will barely eclipse 3,600 yards passing. 3,200 yards, 36. He's not a passer. He's not a gunslinger. What did Jalen Hurts have last year in passing yards and passing touchdowns? It was very underwhelming. It was very underwhelming. Kruger, how many passing yards and passing touchdowns did Jalen Hurts have last year?
In the 2024 NFL season, Jalen Hurts threw for 2,903 passing yards and 18 touchdowns. He also led the Eagles to a Super Bowl victory and was named the Super Bowl MVP.
MVP. People take that Super Bowl win and they just forget that he had 2,900 yards passing. And what was it, 18 passing touchdowns? Nix blows him out of the water. That's why Nix outscored him last year. And he was hurt last year. Yes, I get that. But he's always banged up because of the tush push. The tush push is taking a toll on his body. I'd rather have Nix than Jalen Hurts in Dynasty, and I proved that when I made one of the most amazing trades I've made the entire offseason in a Dynasty league, where I traded Jalen Hurts for a guy I believe could outscore Hurts this year, and he did outscore him last year. Nix outscored Jalen Hurts last year. He already did it. I got Nix and Breece Hall for my Jalen Hurts in a Dynasty, and I crushed that trade and lambasted my opponent. Just lambasted him.
Let him cook.
Cincy, stop embarrassing yourself. What are you doing? This is the last thing. You've already exhausted the amount of times I'm gonna put your comments on screen, because they're just a waste of time. And you say preach Dr. Smitty here. That's great and all, but you also say right here that Kyren Williams, where is it? Kyren Williams is too small, Smitty. Where is that? Kyren, here it is. You're wasting my time. My time's valuable. It's precious. I don't have a lot of it. I got to move on to the next show, and you're out here wasting my time, and I'm reading this garbage. Kyren's too small for $33 million a year, Smitty. Like, stop, bro. You like, no offense, but you gotta relax. You gotta relax and try to absorb the fact that you hate Harvey, you hate Kyren. It's very easy to tell your type of who you don't like. You don't like Achan, I'm sure. You don't like Kyren. You don't like Harvey. You probably think Mahomes is trash. You probably think Ibuka can't do it. You just, there's a type here. Too small. Yeah, he's 7 feet tall, bro. He's 7 feet tall. Kyren Williams is 7 feet tall, bro.
He's Kyren. He's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball.
All right, Knicks to the moon. Laporta, this is a wild one. Laporta going in the tail end of 7. Sometimes he goes 6, 7, but 7, 8. I've seen him go 8 sometimes. Laporta's a steal. This is maybe the tight end 4. Potentially. Could be the tight end 4. For a player that you don't have to count on tight end 4 production, you're really at that cost of entry counting on top 7 to 10 maybe production. So that's crazy. That's crazy. It was so weird. It was so weird to have anti-Kyren takes. It really, at this point, really. Like, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Aren't you learning anything over the years? Like, you just doing the same thing over and over? Kelsey, great value in 8. There's risk involved, but not at that baked-in value. Evan Ingram, a fantastic steal in this territory as well. And I'm going to end it here. There's other players. I didn't put 3 here. I'm missing a 3rd here in round 5. If I had to pick another player in round 5, I suppose I'm just going to tell you to borrow one of the Triple H and Associates and just say Harvey in 5 still. You know what I mean? Harvey in 5. Mahomes in 5. Mahomes probably lingers here in non-best ball leagues. So put Mahomes there. Non-best ball grandma leagues, put Mahomes here, even if it's the top of 5, and then put him here if it's best ball. So that's probably why I actually left it blank. Maybe I was going to do some sort of rotation here and just say Mahomes goes here. That's fine. JD5 goes here in non-best ball and home leagues. Josh Allen goes here. That's fine. That accounts for the difference in league type. And those guys still are valuable there, 100%. But take advantage of what you can get away with. I mean, look, we did some damage today. We did some real damage today. Phone lines are open. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
It's already 7:13. We'll see how fast we can get through this. And then we'll go from there. Let me add Travis here. Travis, you're live. What is up, my boy?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, so the Chase Brown, I mean, you know, I own him anyway, but I don't know if you saw it today. They said they expect his receiving numbers to go up and that they're going to use him as like safety valve in the pass in screen game and everything too. So that's just more good news for Chase Brown.
Yeah, he really is a good safety valve in the end of round 2. If you get into that end of round 2 and you don't see anything you like, Achan's gone, London's gone, Bucky's gone, and you got Jacobs there, and you're like, I just don't feel that. Or I'm looking at, wide receivers you just don't trust right there. Tyreek Hill, hell no. If you got to push Chase Brown or Hampton or Kyren into 2, take one of the other 3 here. I'm fine with that. You go Lamb, Chase Brown, and Kyren, home run. You go Lamb, Kyren, Chase Brown, or Lamb, Kyren, Hampton. All that is home run material. So Chase Brown's definitely. I'll do a video on that. Chase Brown's going to be a safety valve round 2 guy for sure. Yeah, for sure. But anybody else? Who do you like on this board other than Chase Brown that feels like a steal other than Harvey? Let's say. Who is one of your favorite guys, and who would you also add? Someone said, "Where's MHJ?" I mean, I'm picking only 3 in each round, so I can't put Garrett Wilson and MHJ and everybody in here. But I like MHJ, sure. But go ahead, Travis.
I mean, I love Hunter and Henry where they're going 5. I think that's just crazy value because I think both of them are going to be right out the gate. Obviously, Mahomes. I mean, I've been with you. That he's getting back to top 5 because they have so much depth on offense. Where if like last year, Hollywood went down, and that was even an issue even before Rice went down. It was already thin. So once Rice went down, it was like now Worthy has to step up, and Worthy obviously needed a little time to get into things. That complicated offense as a rookie, all that. So this year, it looks like God forbid something happens. Obviously, Rice could get the suspension. Kelsey's older; he could get banged up. Someone else, if Hollywood gets hurt again, they have guys to step right in, whether it's Royals or even the guy Tyquan Thornton as a deep route. They got, they signed him. Patriots had him and misused him like crazy. They're using him in the right way, so that they have guys all over the field. That Mahomes can throw it.
Yeah. Royals looks so good in KC. I mean, he looks like a dominating wide receiver. It's wild to me how undervalued and overlooked he went. He is such a good wide receiver, and he looks like a veteran already. It's early, I understand that, but just the fact that if things go awry anywhere, If Hollywood can't stay healthy, if Rice is out 6 games, let's say, Royals is going to step up big time. He really will. So will Brashard Smith, Andy Reid, Veach. This entire organization knows how to get talent into the building. And let's not forget that the Chiefs probably pulled off maybe one of the biggest deals in all of fantasy football. All of NFL real football on draft day. And I think it's pretty important to note that when the Chiefs took this kid right here, Josh Simmons. At 32 overall, they played 5D chess with the entire league. This was maybe the top 8 overall pick. That because he had a knee injury, he looks fantastic. So
that's who I wanted the Patriots to go after. I wanted them to trade back or use that earlier pick on someone else.
Aside from
take the chance on someone.
Yeah, aside from Jeanty and Hunter, this might have been the best pick in the entire first round. And this might have been a top 4-3 pick, maybe top 5 pick at least in the entire draft. Draft.
If he didn't get hurt, he was going to be a top 5 pick.
Yeah, I said top 8, probably top 5. You're probably right. Josh Simmons, the Chiefs just, it's funny because they sent, some used and abused product over to Chicago to fix their offensive line. And everybody's like, oh, the Chiefs, what are they going to, offensive line is going to be bad. You got to understand, the Chiefs know offensive line better than anybody. And if the Chiefs are getting rid of an offensive line piece due to concern of injury or whatever, you've got to take note of that. It's kind of like that nervous Ned that's trying to sell you something from OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace. And he shows up just shaking and he's nervous and you... Can I plug this in somewhere to make sure it works? There's no plug around here. I'm sorry. I just got to make the trade. So you want to do it or not? This is what it feels like when you're getting a player from the Chiefs so easily. Why am I getting this guy so easily? And the Bears have excuse after excuse after excuse. They've got the best offensive line now. They pieced it together. Poles did such a good job. We'll see how it all pencils out. Is the offensive line going to be as good as everybody thinks? Is the makeshiftness of this offensive line going to be good? Why did the Chiefs depart here, depart there, make this move, make that move? You're about to find out. The Chiefs play 5D chess with everybody when it comes to offensive line. Remember when they signed Mahomes to his 10-year deal, $500 million deal, and people kept running their mouth about it, saying, oh, the Chiefs will never sign another player ever again. The Chiefs played 5D chess with everybody. Because when you sign a 10-year deal, the longer the contract is, the more you can restructure and kick the can down the road. And by the time you kick the can down the road far enough, the impact is minimal. Like, just because you eventually are going to get caught with that can, the can's value, the cost of Mahomes, he's getting paid peanuts right now compared to other quarterbacks. So it's actually, you kick the can down the road and it was minimal. The salary cap goes up 20% roughly every 2 years. Mahomes' contract is not a problem once you get to the end. That can's not scary at all anymore. So they've opened up themselves to constantly be able to renegotiate. Mahomes was very smart in wanting to build an amazing team. Mahomes is so smart. And to sign a 10-year deal, everybody said was a mistake. You're going to miss out on all this money. He didn't care. He knows he's getting paid handsomely, and he knows that when he comes back around to get his next contract, which will happen soon, he's going to get so much money, he'll be fine, his family will be fine, his grandkids will be fine, his grandkids will be fine, and AI is going to take everybody out before they'll ever be able to spend all that money. So Mahomes and the Chiefs, they're playing 5D chess with everybody. They've continued to, and this offensive line is going to be a masterpiece. Love it. And BBQ says, smash the list, Smitty, incredible value at ADP. I love the breakdown of everything. I could have done a show on every round, to be honest with you, instead of doing that freaking 2.5 hour show. But, and real quickly, Travis, hold on 1 second. Dynasty stash one, Manungai or Jordan James. Give me Jordan James. I don't trust Chicago. And Garendo's banged up already, but Garendo and Jordan James have to be cuffed together. That is Jordan Mason and Garendo from last year. So if anybody's not paying attention and they just go get Grendo and he can't stay healthy, Jordan James is going to the moon, and we're going to tell you we told you so. We're going to say we told you. What the hell were you doing not cuffing the two together if you can cuff them together? This next super chat and the last one to catch up completely. Actually, this will catch me up. What about reports on Debo unable to shake DBs? Bro, give me a break. Debo's look phenomenal all offseason. I don't care if there's a bad day. You know, like Keon Coleman dropped the ball today, and everybody's like, can you believe Keon Coleman dropped that football and ran that shoddy route? He's also looked really good throughout the offseason. So you can't take one report or one video. And you could say, Smitty, you do it with Caleb. Caleb is looking bad almost the entire time. Not to mention, I believe Caleb will play bad. I believe Caleb will struggle. It doesn't matter what the footage shows. Even if it's self-confirming bias, it's bias that it's the stance I'm taking anyway. Like, I know a lot of people think that self-confirming bias to go find something that fits your narrative. Like, oh, I can't stand Kyren. And then Kyren has a Stafford concern. Oh, she told you. That's self-confirming bias. But what you got to understand is when, and I'm subject to it, I'm a human being, but you got to understand I've been doing this 23 years, and I don't care about being right or wrong. I care about being accurate. And if that means that I have to say, guys, trade Kenneth Walker after Kenneth Walker, like I predicted, is one of the best running backs in the league, walking into the what?
What was that?
No. You can't stay quiet on mute, bro. Come on. I come in and I say Kenneth Walker is going to be one of the best running backs in the league, and he is. First month of football, guy scored almost more touchdowns than anybody in the league. And then I walk in and I say, guys, we're going into week 5 or whatever. We got to trade Kenneth Walker. That is adjusting and adapting. That is, there's no bias really involved. I'm not saying I'm not subject to a little here or there. I'm not saying I might not hang on a little bit more than normal here or there. It's going to happen. There's going to be some spillage. But for the most part, my objective and my goal is not to, I don't care about any of that. I want you to win. And what matters is right now. Every moment matters. If let's say I'm down on Caleb Johnson, the running back in Pittsburgh, and he starts looking good, I will adjust. I won't sit here and claim I was higher on Caleb than anybody. I'm not saying I'll do that. I'm saying I'll be like, look, he looks good. We adjust and adapt. We learn, we move. Anybody that can move on him now, we trade for him now. Like, that's how I operate. I don't sit there and go, well, I said he was going to be bad, so I'm just going to look for stuff and have self-confirming bias here. That's not how I operate. But if I go find something that confirms what I'm already thinking, saying that, yeah, it's going to look like that, but you got to trust me more. I'm not saying I'm going to be 100% right, but you watch the channel for a reason. I'm not trying to go find and cherry pick information to confirm what I'm saying. If I find stuff that confirms what I'm saying, you might want to just say, maybe that's true. Maybe he's finding evidence. You know, I'm cherry picking and finding a Keon Coleman drop. I'm not going to go do that. I'll tell you about it. I'm not going to run from it, but that doesn't do anything for me because I'm not predicting him to be a disaster. I also don't know, by the way, on the topic of Keon Coleman, it's not a hill I'm going to die on this year. You know, but I do think Keon Coleman looked phenomenal last offseason, and it's really hard to explain what happened. Just like Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill looks quick. Tyreek Hill looked quick last year. Tyreek Hill, technically speaking, ran some decent routes at times and just didn't get the ball. We can't explain it. But what are you going to do? Run into that, run into the wind peeing? I don't know. And then the last super chat, and then I have to go to the phone line. If that caller wants to call back, but I don't know what he was doing on the phone line, but we kicked him off because Smitty has a particular set of GM fantasy analysis skills acquired over a long career, 20-plus career. He produces a master key on how to win championships. I thought you were going in the direction of where? Let me see if I can find it real quickly. Where is my? Where is this thing? Hold on a second, Travis. I think it's right here. Where is it? Old here. Maybe it's here. I don't know. I can't find it. If I find it, I'll play it. Go ahead, Travis. You're live. Thank you, BBQ.
Just another thing I was going to say was this depth they've built on the offense, too. It allows Worthy to be in the role that he should be, running the routes that he should be in, not trying to replace Rice as much as they forced a lot on him early last year. And it probably helped for his development. But you now will be able to get him getting, 7, 8, 9 targets a game, plus a couple rushing targets, rushing attempts, and he's better when he's moving all around, all over the field. And we saw that toward the end of the year. He was, getting better. But and also, it's pretty crazy to think they got Worthy and Simmons back-to-back years at the end of the first round. So it just shows you they know what they're doing. They're building a team.
Thank you. Here you go, BBQ.
If you stop sending me these terrible fantasy football trade offers now, that will be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will tell the commissioner on you.
I had to find that. I had that somewhere. Thank you, BBQ. I know you were headed there, Mr. Mills. Yeah, I agree with you, Travis. It's gonna be such a fun year, man. I feel like let's look at the Jupiter men, the Saturn men, the Mars men, and the Moon men, and see if anything needs to be moved. Part of me wants to make a Andromeda Galaxy board, which will be the Dynasty men. And we don't have a Dynasty board. And I think I moved Neighbors onto it because, as I've said, Neighbors feels like the next Jamar Chase, and I love Neighbors. The toe concerns me. I don't want to take him off the Jupiter board because it feels wrong, but if I can move him to the Andromeda Galaxy board where he belongs, and he can still sit there and be revered, then I don't feel as bad. I'm not saying I'm moving him off because the bottom line is he's going to play like a Jupiter man the first month or two of football. He really will. He truly will. There's no coming in here week 2 going, George, no. I'm telling you, he will be maybe the number 1 wide receiver in football for 8 weeks. And you could sell him high. That is an approach. There's no avoiding Neighbors. I want to make that abundantly clear. You can draft Neighbors. Just make sure you're in a league where you can trade. And if not, take Jeanty. It's just safer. But Neighbors shouldn't be avoided, but he also should be consumed at a careful rate. And don't oversaturate. Because there's inherent risk walking into 2025 that he will get shut down in the later part of the season when the Giants don't have anything to play for. And his toe is going to get progressively worse because it is a situation that requires a maintenance plan and requires surgery. It requires surgery. And if you're losing and you could potentially get a better draft pick by sitting him in week 14 anyway, what do you think you're going to do? And this team might fail at quarterback again if they've got 4 or 5 wins, and they're going to want that number 1 overall pick. So what do you think they're going to do? There's a lot of concern here. A lot, whether people want to hear it or not. But let's go through the boards and see who we'd move. And if there's anybody I want to replace. Fields struggling with passing, worry about Brees? No. First of all, if he's struggling in passing, he's going to check it down to Brees. Fields checked down more than any other quarterback in the league last year. And Fields was 4-2. We already know what he is. He's a magnificent player. Magnificent player. And Fields didn't struggle all offseason. He struggled the last couple of days. And also important point that that's a pretty damn good defense that he goes up against, which you could look at it from a positive perspective. He's getting trained very well by one of the better defenses that's underrated, that's played very badly because they've gotten tired, they've gotten injured. And how can they be the best defense in the league? How can they be even close to the best defense in the league? I'm not saying they're number 1. Not saying they're better than the Eagles. Not saying they're better than the Broncos. I'm just saying, how can they be up there when their offense is just trash, constantly tiring them out. They're not even motivated. The defense didn't even watch the offense. And Aaron Rodgers, said that it was embarrassing kind of to watch this team not root for each other. The defense didn't even care what the offense was doing. The offense didn't care what the defense was doing. That's what part of the problem was in New York. It was a trashy setup and community and every sense of the word, the camaraderie, everything was trash. And it didn't ever get fixed. It was that way since Salah and before, and it's supposed to be new and revamped now, and I believe it to be. And this team's rallying around Fields. He's not on a short leash. He's the only quarterback. There's no competition. And he's always been a little bit better of a game guy than a practice guy. And that's common with players like Fields and Lamar that have struggled. Not saying Lamar's struggling now with accuracy. He's really grown in that department. But he used to struggle a ton. And Fields struggles a little bit with that. But he's also going up against an epic potential comeback defense of the year. And that might be a really, it's kind of like, your wife's yelling in your ear and your kid's pulling on your shirt, and you're getting yelled at, you're just ignoring it. And then you go into your draft and it's training. You hear Bobby talking. It doesn't sound anything as bad as the chirping you were trained under. You're trained in that condition, that environment, molded, sculpted by the constant craziness and nagging and screaming and yelling and the kid pulling on your shirt. And I remember one time I was in the grocery store, and my oldest, when she was about 3 or 4, I was sitting there in the grocery store. She grabbed my shirt and pulled it up. And I'm in front of everybody with my shirt up near my neck. And I'm like, what are you doing? Pulling my shirt down. I was trained in the harshest of conditions. So Fields in practice going up against Sauce and the boys, he goes into a game, it's going to feel good. He'll be ready. Yeah, that was a tough moment for me. It took me about 8 seconds to get my shirt down too. It's like just sitting there in line. It's like, no! What are you doing? Fields struggling. Oh, I answered that one. Okay, Travis, any final thoughts? I'm going to go. I don't know that I'll be back tonight. I might later.
I don't think so.
I'm going to try and take Wednesday graveyard nights off. Somebody said, Smitty, you deserve a day off. I don't take a day off. I'm just taking a graveyard show off.
Middle of the week.
Yeah,
I'm good. I'll talk to you later, though, Smitty.
All right. Appreciate you. Later. Thank you for all the super chats, everybody. Thank you. If anybody did any gifted memberships, let me search for that real quickly just to make sure I didn't miss that. Gifted memberships. Nothing today, but appreciate everybody in the celebratory messages. I don't think we had any of those today either. But super chats we did. We had Ed, appreciate you. Dan, DeBalt, Daniel with a $25 hauler. Healing, appreciate you. Ben, appreciate you. All day. I called them Aldi. It's all day. Is that Aldi though? Because all the names have changed. So, all day. Appreciate you. Rock out. Appreciate you. Gilliam, appreciate you. Viral, appreciate you. Marty, thank you, Marty. Appreciate you. Chief, appreciate you. Jonathan, BBQ, and Camille, I think it was Remy. Thank you, Remy. Appreciate you. Appreciate every one of you. That's a good show. I mean, that was a long show. 2 hours and 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours of breaking down the best picks, the 3 best picks in every single round. There's a recap of it. We did have a vacancy here, but kind of a rotation of Mahomes here, depending on if it's non-best ball or best ball. And Laporta goes here. Jaden Daniels and Josh Allen go here, and they're both acceptable here in non-best ball and home leagues, but then you can get them here in best ball. We draft on Underdog almost every single night. Tonight's the only night I won't. I'm going to take the night off. I take the graveyard shift, the midnight Eastern, off on Wednesdays only. I don't know if I'll take it off during the year, but for right now, that is going to be the plan. That's the only graveyard shift I take off. Every other midnight Eastern, I am live. Every single midnight Eastern, I am live. But don't worry, I'm still going to be in the lab. I'll be in here creating content on thefantasyfootballshow.com. If you guys don't have a membership, I'm going to drop 5 bold predictions tonight and tomorrow on thefantasyfootballshow.com. The bold predictions are right here. This is what I made my name and reputation on CBS and NBC Sports Radio, dropping these bold predictions. Nobody did bold predictions in 2002/2003 because people were scared to. It's how I got into the business, is saying Adrian Peterson's going to be the best running back in the National Football League before he ever took a snap. And if you remember Adrian Peterson, that might sound like a not bold take, but there was a 50% amount of people, especially experts, that were creating content that said that he was going to fail at the National Football League, that he was too much of an upright runner, that AP wouldn't translate, and that he'd get hurt in the National Football League. So it was a very controversial take back in that 2007 season. And so dropping bold predictions, there was no one doing bold predictions. I know everyone's going to say, Smitty, you think you invented everything. The reason I got into the business in 2002 to begin with is because I couldn't find a single trade calculator in the industry. And I said, I want this as a consumer. I want this. I want rankings that are up and available 365, 24/7. I'd get a hold of my buddies. We'd get home from school and I'd be like, hey, you guys want to do a draft, a mock draft? We'll just do it. Or you guys want to draft the August draft now in April? They're like, you're crazy. We don't even know who they're going to draft in the NFL draft yet. We don't know how free agency is going to play out. We don't want to do that until we know what's going on. And I was the only one. I was the only one of my friends that was like, I want rankings now. The magazines come out in July. I want magazines in April. I want redraft content in April. And no one was creating it. And there were no trade calculators or anything of the sort around. I couldn't find any of them. And I said, I want to do this. I want to innovate in this industry. So I've been doing the content, the tools, everything since 2002. So over 2 decades of creating this content right here. And I'll be in the lab tonight. I'm not taking the night off from that. I'll be in the lab probably till 3 a.m. writing content for thefantasyfootballshow.com, creating, as you can see, it's color coordinated. And there's 2 different memberships. You can get all-encompassing membership, but there's the Dynasty side, which is the green, and the blue side, which is the redraft. And if you buy the full season membership for $59, you can get both sides, or you can buy the one that's just the Dynasty, or you can get a lifetime membership, pay one time and never pay again. So get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com. I'll drop the link in the live chat. It's in the description of the video as well. Don't forget to get on over to the Patreon. Don't forget to click this to sign up so you can draft with us. That's the Underdog link right there. Here's the Patreon link right here if you want to join the 24/7, 365 Patreon. I'm going to go over there right now. In fact, I'm going to type a message on my Patreon right now and say, yo, yo, yo. This is my real message. Any post 8 p.m. show topics. Boom. I'm on there chatting live with my people. And then again, thefantasyfootballshow.com, year-round rankings, trade calculators, bold predictions. You want that, click this link right here. All of these links, all of them are in the description of every video if you want to find them later. Go tackle them. Go get them. Okay? All of the links are in the live chat at any point in time if you need them. And don't forget, I'm live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern every single Monday through Friday. That's the show you're watching now. I'm additionally live whenever big news breaks in an additional compartmentalized live stream. And I'm live every single night at midnight, but Wednesday nights tonight, I'm taking the night off. But I'll be in the lab cooking up the content. I'll see you all later. Appreciate you. Thanks to my moderators. Thank you, Space Ricky, Sick Nasty, Blackbeard, DeBolt, of course, Travis. Who else am I missing? Vampy, Terry, if he's out there. Thank you, Breeze. Appreciate you. Thank you, Sick Nasty. Thank you, Moon. I've been following you, being a part of the chat for 4 years now. I've never become a member, but I'd just like to say thank you so much. You were a rock star, and so is your following, says Buddy. Buddy, thank you for the kind words. We'd love to have you on the Patreon, pal. See you, DeBalt. Appreciate you. Thank you, Blackbeard. Thank you, Space Ricky. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, Sick Nasty. Thank you, Vampy. Thank you, Vader. We'll see you later. Thank you, Dooney. Thank you, Healing. See you later, The Real. Thank you, BBQ. BBQ to the moon. Oh, somebody dropped gifted memberships. AZ Healing dropped 5 gifted memberships. 5 gifted memberships on the way out the door.
Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you for dropping those 5 gifted memberships, Healing. Healing to the moon. All right, see you tonight. Appreciate all of you. I'm going to try and work on the waiver wire video tonight in the lab. And then do some bold predictions on thefantasyfootballshow.com. See you all later. Appreciate you. Deuce.